another episode of Spare Time. I'm your host, Carlos, and this show is brought to you by Umpqua Survival. Today, my guest is my friend and also, I think, one of the best mechanics around, Kenny Clarno. What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going
Thanks
good.
for the compliment.
Yeah. And as always, everybody's favorite, what's up, Mike?
Hello, hello. Let's do this.
I love it, dude.
That's funny.
So, Kenny, most people probably don't know who you are. Actually, you know quite a few people, so.
Most people,
But I got listeners clear in, like, England and stuff, and they definitely don't know who you are. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Kenny Clarno. I was born here in Roseburg, Oregon, 1980. Never left. I don't know why, but I just like it here. Grew up, went to school around here, graduated in 1998. Majored, did mostly always loved cars through school. Did a lot of auto shop in school. Had some kids early. Never got into the cars yet then. Worked time in the mill. Finally got into some flooring and basically was working on cars after work to finally to figure out that I was making more money after work working on cars than I was doing at my regular job and made it my real job one day. So most people know me in this town as Kenny the Mechanic. It's what everybody calls me. That's how I identify myself. Know most people.
I identify as a mechanic.
I picked up on that.
Well, I meant like when you do. I'd rather be that. Yeah. But when you answer,
nice wrench.
When you gotta when you gotta call somebody and they're like Kenny who, and I'm like Kenny the Mechanic, Mechanic. So it always came that. So I just called the business KTM, Kenny the Mechanic.
Yeah. Perfect.
Plus, I get free advertising from the motorcycle company.
That's right.
That's your Instagram too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kenny the Mechanic.
I like it.
That's
perfect.
Fucking genius.
Yeah.
I'll build anything you want. I build cars, everything from everyday repairs to race cars to lifting trucks, whatever it is. We do it all out there. Me and my coworker Jesse.
You don't like to do a lot of stuff when it comes to diesel, though.
I don't mind. I don't like diagnosing diesels. So I grew up as a gas mechanic, but I can work on anything if I know what the problem is. The diesels like that, they're a little more, but I'm getting better. I'm better at them. But if it's a gas, I got it covered.
Yeah. Well, no, I said that I think you're one of the best mechanics around because not only have you always pretty much been able to do anything I've needed done, but like, I don't know, maybe it's just because we're friends, but like every single time, I swear to God, you end up charging me less than I could have bought the parts for by myself.
Well, first of all, I get the parts cheaper. Most people don't know this. Car places, they don't just make money off the labor.
Nope.
So you get an account within a parts store, you get it cheaper than what everybody else is getting it for. But here's what's funny is on your receipt, you get a list price. All right. That list price is higher than everything else, and you get the price you paid. Now, I paid less than what you paid, and the mechanic is now charging you the list price that he not only that you would pay less than that, he paid even less and didn't even go get the parts.
Had them delivered.
So I don't do that. The only time I upcharge for a part is if I go get it cheaper when I can get it online and I do the research to find it, go get it, and then I'll make some profit off of it. But a lot of times, even then, I even share it with the customer too, so I can beat out somebody else's quote by a long shot. Sure. And that's what I've did my whole business about is just trying to keep it low overhead, me and a coworker only, so I can do things cheaper for everybody else.
Well, it's made it so that you don't even have to advertise or nothing because it's like
word of
you're
mouth.
Booked out 2 or 3 months, and that's just off word of mouth.
About 6 weeks. Normally, I'm trying to get better at fitting things in now.
It's pretty good business.
Stuff, but it works out. I do everything by appointment. Sometimes I get stuck with some cars that are a little bit crummy because nobody else could afford to fix them there. But, oh well, at least I'm doing good things too and stuff like that. Got to keep up the good karma.
I like it, dude. It works out good. And there's been a couple times, like when you fixed my steering column, you're like, dude, the cheapest way to do it is
I use one.
You gave me the number and everything. You're like, call this place, told me exactly what to ask for, and it saved me a ton of money.
Yeah, I don't source used parts either and stuff like that. So I gotta get people. I have everybody else get them, but I'll help you guys go where to get them and stuff like that. And get them, and I'll go even pick them up for me from the junkyard and everything too, like other engines and stuff like that. I'll go pick them out at Green.
Yeah. No, it worked out great. Every time, like I said, every time I've had you do anything, it's worked out great.
I do try to help. I'm not going to deny that I don't know how to get my friends a little sooner and help them out a little more. I mean,
well, and I know I'm a pain in the ass once in a while. I'll be like, just messaging you, and I'm like,
not,
dude,
not Carlos.
I need your help. I'm stuck, or I need
what
this.
the hell
or-
does Carlos need now?
Yeah.
My starter fell off.
And I'm horrible. Like I used to be able to work on my rigs a little bit, but I don't know if it's just old age or I just got super lazy or what. But freaking now, I swear to God, I can't even diagnose a problem 90% of the time.
You would be surprised on how many older guys come to me and tell me they were mechanics before and they just don't want to work on their cars anymore. And it gets to the point where you just, and now they put stuff in ways where I'm even got to the point where like, I do not want to crawl underneath that dash, you know, and I'm not a big dude, you know, so anything so I can fit, but it's not good. It's not fun trying to shoot your butt back over the seat, getting out from underneath it. And
definitely
contorting.
Designed for a little person to get in there. And,
that's for sure.
yeah.
That's for sure. And that's why I've thought about maybe next hire needs to be some small little girl that can crawl in little faces anywhere.
There
like
you
that.
go. That'll work.
Yeah. That could possibly be good for your Instagram too.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute. What?
You'd be able to reach in the small parts of the engine bays where man hands don't fit and stuff like that. Next thing you know, they're, you know, get like some 4'11" girl in there. She's crawling in the engine bay. You can get anything you want.
Yeah. Dude, these newer cars though, there's no room to work on them at all.
It's not even that. The more part is the electronics. Even the diesels, that are the worst too.
Yes.
The new diesels, you don't call me if it breaks. You call the IT tech. There is so much electronics to them. It is crazy. Like, there's a module for everything too on any newer car. Everything has its own module.
Yep.
So therefore, I mean, it takes big computer systems and everything like that. So a lot of stuff I can't even do. Like I have to send to dealerships because it needs a body control program. I can do an engine module program, but not a body control module. So it's got to be sent there. And that's where the dealership keeps their, keeps going because there's certain things they can only do.
Yeah.
But either way, I get it figured out though, and then at least send them there for that, and I'll do everything else. But
Yeah.
Sweet.
So you've been working on cars since high school.
I've been working on cars since a kid.
Yeah.
My dad loved cars. My dad was a old school hot rodder. Never was a mechanic by trade, but I remember in the 80s they had a strike in the mill. And here's my dad building a Corvette, building a GTO for somebody and just doing straight up mechanic. He was just doing it on the side to supplement his income because he couldn't afford to keep the rent and everything like that. So I would help out there, you know, hand and wrench, learning what a 1/2, 9/16 was. Not that anything is standard anymore. It's all metric, but then it was. So I just ended up helping my dad out a lot. He'd always just do the neighbor's car or something like that after work, something, you know, and so, you know, I've got a hold of his hot rod magazines, found the How It Works section of a whole few magazines, and it was over from there.
Yep.
Went to high school, auto tech for 4 years, and I was just hooked. I always wanted something, pretty cars, cool cars. I used to do the Summit magazine open and like build an engine on paper. This is dirty. I really did this as like a 16-year-old boy.
It's basically a giant shopping list.
Yeah, like what engine I could build for something. It didn't even matter. And I had some dumb idea too when I was like 16-year-old that I was going to buy a brand new Firebird by working at the gas station down the street. Little did I know about interest rates. And credit.
Yeah. That's awesome, though. I mean, you're putting your daydreams down on paper.
Oh, yeah.
Basically.
I just wanted to build something. If I had this, I could build this small block and make 400 horsepower from these parts in the catalog.
I think people did. I think everybody did that. Even, like, I wasn't a mechanic guy, but I remember having those magazines and, like, there'd be 50 million things circled inside of there that I was like, oh, I need that for the, you know.
This would be a great build. This would be cool on a build. This would be great looking at a Camaro or a Chevelle or something like that. But yeah.
And that was back in the day when, like, everybody was driving busted ass rigs and stuff. Nobody was driving anything nice. I mean, you thought you were cool as hell if you put a new carburetor on something, you know?
We had one kid that had a General Lee look like in high school. I can never remember who that kid was. He was old. He was like a senior when I was like a 9th grader, but he had a General Lee look at it. I remember sitting in a bus and seeing that thing go by and be like, why can't I have that?
Yeah, someday.
I remember when I was in high school, there was a kid, I can't remember his name. He had a Ford Fiesta. Jeez. One of those little, like, kind of bubble cars. But he was like one of the auto shop guys. And he wanted his car to be cool, so he made his own, like, body kit for it.
Yeah.
You remember that? It had, like, a fat body kit on a Ford Fiesta. Nothing else. I mean, the rest of the car was totally stock, dude. But, I mean, it was...
when I worked in the mill, a buddy of mine had like one of those old 89 Accords or something like that. And him and his friends cuddled together with a lot of duct tape and cardboard.
Yeah.
He shows up to the bar in that thing with cardboard all around it, spoiler body kit. It was freaking hilarious, and he wore it with pride. It laid it on there for like 3 days for the duct tape started falling off and stuff like that, but it was hilarious. I had a body kit car once. I won't ever do it again. I'll tell you right that. The 240SX, the body kit, and what a nightmare. When the bumper's only 3 inches off the ground and 2 feet out front of the tire.
You always find the fucked up approach, and you're always scraping.
I had it repainted 4 times.
Dude, Roseburg's always been the most placed ever to have a lowrider anything.
I'm worried about the new car, the Cadillac. I just got the ATS-V. It's got that carbon fiber front splitter, and I've always got to remember all that stuff with it. Remember side angles, stuff like that, because I don't want to replace a $1,000 splitter.
No shit.
I'm used to it though. My Camaro too is also fairly low, so and the front end sticks, the nose is stout there pretty far. So we've got to watch out the most, but. No, I'm kind of body kits are out. Nobody really cares about those things anymore.
Dude, I don't know. A lot of that old stuff's coming back.
Everything comes back. Look at the kids are wearing.
Like lowriders are coming back now.
That's true. And look at the clothes, though.
I know.
All the kids are all wearing the 90s clothes. It's the baggy jeans again. Thank God, because skinny jeans suck.
Yeah.
I never left them. I still got the baggy jeans and big shirts.
Dude, I hope yoga pants don't ever go out, though.
I know.
Well, no doubt. That's God's gift to men.
I know. I love it. Oh, my God. Dude, so out this front window right here, this curb, dude, you don't know how many people I've watched rip their front bumpers off on it. Freaking ding their doors.
Oh yeah, that is pretty high for the door. Like
well,
right there.
And people will just come because nobody knows how to park here, so they'll just. Some people come straight in, some people go sideways. It's insane.
There's a Fiat there right now, and that door would probably hit that curb if it opened.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Believe it or not, that's not. It might look say Fiat on it. That's a Mazda Miata.
Yeah.
Just rebadged.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could definitely hit it.
That guy's awesome.
Yeah, I've got at my house. You got to watch it because I live on a hill. So I live on the right side of the hill where it goes up. So my front lawn is raised, so it's all bricks out front. So you got to watch it. You open the door, you'll smack it, or you have to park way out from the thing. Kind of sucks for people when they come over because they feel like they have to park 3 feet from the curb so they don't hit the door and stuff.
Yeah, once in a while I'll be sitting in here in my office and somebody will park on the side of the building and I'll hear them slam their door into my wall.
Oh, you're just hurting my feelings right now just thinking about the sound. Like, hearing it so many times before.
It just. I don't know. I'm so used to it now. It doesn't even bother me. You'd think being a cinder block building that it would be really well insulated from sound, but it's not. Like if somebody starts a freaking big diesel or something up out here, it's so loud. You can hear it so
cinder blocks they're hollow on the inside, so it's not like there's anything.
Well, I would have thought they would have filled them with something. I don't know.
No, they don't.
Air, Carlos. It's just air.
My back shop at my house is cinder block wall, and it's built into dirt. And I trust me, I can tell you how porous they are now because all the water that comes through. And I will never live on a hill again unless I'm on the top on a rock where everything drains down from me. Because we just had that flood over the weekend.
Now, you got a lot of water?
A lot of water. I was in Salem. I had to leave for my daughter's soccer. But my wife pulled out 35 gallons out of the lower garage, just sucking it up with a vacuum. It's just a little sheet of water. That's all it is. Not a lot or anything. But while everybody else was dealing with a lot worse. I mean, when I came down my hill, I'm going down the hill, and there's a 6-foot river on the right-hand side on Sunday morning, and it was so bad. And I drove past the Rose Villa apartments, and they're flooded. 2 feet water coming out of the manholes. It looked
like a river running through that place.
Dude, it was bad. And then a couple of my friends down here on Diamond Lake Boulevard got their houses a foot in their house and stuff from Newton Creek, basically. Deer Creek, I mean. Newton Creek's what took out Rose Villa.
Yeah, it was crazy. I know it was weird is some of the places where the water went. You would have never imagined it would have go that way or wherever. So.
And what's funny part is how fast it happened and how fast it was gone. I remember it did this in 96.
Yeah, 96.
But it was slow to come up, and it stayed for a few days, and then it was gone. This was hours up and hours down. It was just, it reminded me, I visited New Orleans. Not this February this year, but last 2024. Great place. Highly recommend it. Best city I've been to in all United States so far. Super cheap, awesome, cool art, stuff like that. Very inviting. Highly recommend it. So we're just staying in an Airbnb and area in the suburb area right there. And they have a flash flood rain. Well, I got to find out how they call it the fishbowl.
Yeah.
it fills up super fast. Next thing I know, there's 6 inches of water in the street, all around the car, just flowing down the street. I'm out there in my underwear, literally
shit.
splashing around in it, taking a video, to show this stuff. And then 1 hour later, it's gone.
Because all the
crazy,
pumps
yeah.
kick on. And
Yeah. So you're right. In 96, it did happen slower. The biggest problem here in 96 was they didn't have they didn't have any freaking way for the water to go. Like that's why part of Mount Nebo slid down, and that's what happened with the freeway sliding out. There was no culverts where they needed to be. They weren't ready for that kind of water. But it happened slower too. I mean, it didn't rain as much. Like this time, I was watching because I'm an old man, so I've got a freaking
3 inches in one day.
It was 3.5 inches of rain
in 24
in
hours.
less than 12 hours.
Well, then you add that to Thursday night.
Yeah.
It snowed all in the hills, and then that melted off with that rain. So it was double trouble like that.
Yeah, it was nuts. So
I'd never seen anything like it. I missed most of it because Saturday I had to go up to Salem for a soccer game with my daughter. Came home, wasn't home until 8, and then Sunday I left at 8 a.m. in the morning, was gone. I didn't get back because I went to a Blazer game with them afterward, my daughter and a friend. But then I had to drop that friend off on Domenico Street, which was flooded out.
Yeah.
Which was flooded with earlier, but by the time I got there at 9 p.m., completely empty. And it was 4 feet high going down the street, and it was completely empty, and all there was just a mud pit everywhere.
Yeah.
It was just amazing how fast it went back down. Because 96, I remember seeing everything, because I don't have my license a month. And I wanted to go see everything, go drive around, find it all. But no, it was
I remember in 96 at the YMCA, there was a freaking Volkswagen Bug, and all you could see was like a sliver of the window and the roof in the parking lot of the YMCA.
So bad. I've actually got 2 phone calls for people too in the mechanic shop. Hydrolock their engines trying to go through huge water.
Mm-hmm. My dumbass son, so he lives out in Camas, but naturally he had to come into town because it was storming.
Just to check it out.
So he came in, and we told him, "Don't go," because he usually takes what is that freaking cutoff?
Strickland Canyon.
Strickland Canyon. And we said, "Don't go Strickland Canyon because Dairy Loop's like flooding out."
Oh, no way.
So what's he do? He goes straight through Strickland Canyon and Dairy Loop, and then
3 feet of water,
and then he hangs out with us most of the day, and then leaves like right when the flooding was like at its peak. And what's he do? He goes back through Dairy Loop and Strickland Canyon. And he said that there was a spot on Dairy Loop where his truck started trying to stall out on him. And he's like, I just kind of gave it more gas and went. He goes, but it was scary because you couldn't see where the road was.
When in doubt, throttle out.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, he went through that. And I was like, you guys, you're such a dumbass. You're lucky you made it through there.
Yeah, I've got to go look at a Toyota pickup this weekend. Got it started again, but there's water in the oil, and it feels like it's misfiring. My guess is it's got one piston's a little lower than the other one from hydrolocking.
Yeah.
But it's like, if it's getting up close to your bottom of your headlights, stop.
Oh, shit.
Your air cleaners is usually in the front, right behind your
You don't got a
headlights.
snorkel, dude.
Do not do that stuff. It is not smart, and it'll cost you, because it's not just a little repair. It's a bent rod.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. I mean, so everyone don't drive in the flooded water. I mean, you might make it if you're a Tesla, but that's about it.
Yeah. You're worried about
If it doesn't short circuit.
Worry about shocking yourself.
Oh my God. They couldn't have done it with Tesla because there wasn't enough time for them to charge up before the storm. So they were already dead to start with.
Oh, don't get me started. I hate EVs. I hate EVs because first because I'm worried about, is it going to take my job? But there's enough gas cars that won't matter by the time I retire.
Then you can just do custom stuff.
But I actually know electronics really well too, though. I've always loved electronics. I soldered, fixed circuit boards, fixed electronics on cars now and stuff, so I can handle it. It's no big problem. I always work on them, but I'll never own one. They don't handle like regular cars.
They're weird.
They're heavy, and they're like a brick on wheel in a corner, but they are quick 0 to 60 into a quarter, though. I'll tell you that.
The weirdest thing to me on electric vehicles is there's no sound. Yeah. And when you stop, it feels like the car dies. I mean, you're like...
Well, then they got the start stop on all the new cars too, though. So you do stop and they do shut off, and then they take back off and you get going. I hate that. Oh, it does a starter wear for like 0.1 mile per gallon better, and then you're going to replace the starter, so it makes no sense in it.
It's just weird. It's a totally weird feeling.
No. Well, you see what they're doing? No, did you see the new Charger EV? The
No.
Challenger Charger EV.
That's
It has
so dumb.
speakers on the outside and the inside that make engine noises.
Yeah.
They plumb the noise on the inside too. Get this, they've been doing that for a little while though. Did you know like a Camaro
They had the Camaro. Yeah.
has an intake pipe that comes in from the intake of the car and lets so you can hear the intake of the engine inside the car.
Yep.
Just so it sounds more cool to you.
Yeah.
And you can turn.
It's already Camaro. It sounds pretty good already, in my opinion. But I mean,
Yeah.
so tubes are often delete thing they do. But the whole fake sound though has just got me. Now I kind of understand the fake sound on the outside of the car.
Yeah.
Blind people where people don't hear you coming up behind them or they step out or something.
Well, yeah,
How does a blind
makes
person
sense.
even know that there's a car right there to stop? That you're going to get hit, you know? So they easily listen for everything. So they're actually kind of it looks like they're going to start requiring EVs to have some sort of sound while they're moving.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about, dude. That's why no seeing eye dogs. They need to give them midgets, dude. Seeing eye man.
Give him midget.
Yeah.
Seeing eye man.
That's a good idea.
Oh,
That's a good idea, though. It's a really good idea.
Yeah. There's a comedian that has a bit about it, dude, and I'm like, that's brilliant.
Is it Brad Williams?
Yeah. I'm like, because what's he saying? I think that comedian goes off about how it's already hard enough to find a job if you're a midget.
Oh, Brad Williams. He is hilarious.
Yeah.
I've listened to the fun size one so many times. He's just so funny. The guy makes fun of himself so well.
Dude, that would be great, though. Plus, you'd always have a friend, dude.
That's right.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, that'd be good. But no, I think it's Kia or Hyundai. They have the option where it makes the Jetson sound.
The bubbles. Yeah.
Sound like the Jetsons car would make in a
So
Jetsons.
I was,
I might have one up the street from me that comes
well, I
down
think
the
a
street
bunch
and
of
you
them,
hear it.
like even Tesla does some weird sounds.
You can
Yeah.
choose different ones.
Because
for Tesla.
I was at the bank the other day and I was trying to be in a hurry. I was telling Mike when we were on lunch, but I was at the bank trying to be in a hurry. And naturally, when you're in a hurry, you get stuck behind two cars.
It
at the
never
bank.
fails.
Well,
yeah.
right in front of me was this Tesla, and I was hearing this weird, sounded like wind chimes or some shit. And I was like rolling my
chimes.
window down and listening. I was like, is somebody listening to some weird Oriental music or
What the
something? I
fuck
was like,
is
what
this?
is that? And then
It's all the pan
the
flute
car in
going
front of
on.
me like pulled up to the drive up to the window, and it got louder. And then it died down real quiet when they got to the window, and I was like, is that car? So then when they pulled off from the window, I had my head out the window listening. It was totally that freaking Tesla with like some weird wind chime noise when it would drive, and it would get louder as it drove.
I don't know if I'd go for a wind chime, but
I'm sure that's not what it was
well,
called.
no, I'm sure they have. I know they have different options.
Yeah.
for
That's what it
sounds.
reminded me of, dude.
It's
It
just
was
like your
so
ringtone
weird.
on your phone. You know all the options and weird sounds they make.
God.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. It makes sense to be able to make sounds so people hear it coming, don't want to get hit by a car or something like that. So
I'd probably like program my car to like have Move Bitch playing or something.
I'm more excited about a lot of the new ICE engines that are coming out now, though, because they don't want to get rid of all the infrastructure we have for fueling and stuff. So there's new ICE engines, which internal combustion engine, coming out with one that runs on ammonia. That's actually supposed to be very promising. They've got hydrogen engines coming out and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
That could end EVs, and EV sales have actually fallen. They got up kind of quick, and then they kind of fall back down. They can't even sell the challenge that Charger EV.
Well, I think people are realizing how much. I mean, the whole big selling push for
cost of
EVs
building
was
them.
because of you're saving the environment and
No,
blah
you're
blah
not.
blah. But now
It's
it's
even worse.
really coming out of that it actually is worse on the environment.
Oh, by far. You see the mines? Have you looked at
Yeah.
pictures of what they
Yeah,
have to dig
they're
out and
insane.
stuff like
Yeah,
that?
dude,
It is
yeah.
insane what it takes
Stupid,
just to make one battery for an EV. It is horrible.
I think the hybrid thing makes more sense,
It does.
especially because I mean
Use
they've
the best
even
of
got
both
it figured
worlds.
out where it's like charging itself using a little bit of fuel.
Brakes.
And
Well,
yeah, I mean, it's
I think
crazy.
longevity history. They've had the technology, but they just kind of silenced it and squashed it because the oil industry.
True.
What was Manx? That was in the 70s. They killed his ass to keep him quiet.
Well, everything's like that. I mean, if you're gonna come after some big billion-dollar
Yeah.
company's money, they're gonna do something to stop it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's given. I mean, I don't always agree with it all, that's for sure, but EVs have their place. I don't think they're that bad, especially for like a in-town commuter. I think someday every family might own one small EV for in-town commuter. When they want to go out of town, they're going to get in a gas car or whatever fuel is out there.
For sure.
Or the moon landing, you know.
Yeah, big cities make a lot of sense. I have some friends that went, I think they were just in Vegas. They were somewhere. And they used some kind of, I was asking them about if they took cabs or how they were getting around, and they were using some driverless electric vehicle.
Google car, probably.
Yeah.
They have the Google one. They're using it. They were actually, I think Vegas might have been where they experimented with the car, actually.
Gavin was just telling me in Seattle, they have all the phone app things for their electric scooters everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of places like that.
Yeah, a lot of in the cities, and they're a nuisance sometimes too. But then again, somebody's always gonna abuse something to make it, but we're not good. So,
yeah. But my friend was telling me they went to, when they left the airport, they used a cab, which cabs are the most expensive way to go. She said it was like $45 for them to go to their hotel, and then they used Uber. And she's like, the Uber driver, she goes, I thought we were going to die. She goes, he was swerving in and out of traffic and slamming on the brakes and hauling ass. And he didn't speak English. So we were yelling at him and he would not.
He's just laughing.
He just kind of was saying shit that we didn't understand. She goes, so I was so mad. And then she said something to somebody at the restaurant where they were at. And they're like, oh, well, use this app. They're electric vehicles. With no driver, and
autonomous car,
and they're like, it's amazing. They drive perfect, and it's cheap. And she's like, oh, anywhere that they have that's what I'm going to do from now on. And I was like, no, I wouldn't trust it.
No way.
Screw that. But she was all about it.
They say they have less errors than humans. So, but I'm not buying it. No way. I'm not letting a thing just drive for me with just little sensors looking at painted lines on the road.
Yeah,
I don't.
The start of Terminator right there.
Well, there you go. But not even worse is how many times have you had to hit the restart button on your computer?
Yeah.
Or unpull the whole plug out of it because it's frozen solid, and you're going to trust that in a car?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. No way, no how.
It locks you in and won't let you out.
First thing they ask you when you call tech support for shit is like, did you reboot your computer?
Oh, yeah, exactly. That is it, too. I mean, I don't know how many times you just get to the point to where nothing works. You just got to pull the plug right out of the wall.
That's right.
And stuff. And now, don't get me wrong, they do make extra modules. So they'll have one fails, they have backups for everything in some of these cars. But I still don't trust it. I don't trust computers enough. I build these things, and they're finicky as hell. So computers are one driver wrong here, and it gets, some corruption, and it's all over. You're like, no way. I don't know how many times even in cars, your regular gas engines, you have to do what they call a hard reset. You take both battery cables off the battery and touch the cables together without the battery involved. It drains all the capacitor system to do a hard reset, and it'll reset everything to where you can get going again, and it lets it restart. And stuff. I'm like, and you're going to tell me that these autonomous cars are going to work? Yeah. No, I don't mind the lane assist where it kind of nudges you over if you're being stupid, but no. And then the AI, don't even get me started with that. But
didn't they already have people have died from like?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They tell you too. All the cars that they have the driverless settings.
They're like, you need to be paying attention.
You need to be paying attention, awake, and have to be for it in case it. And you're not supposed to be doing that. But what are you going to do in a car when you're not doing anything? What's going to most likely happen? You're going to pass out,
go to sleep, or read a book, or have a computer screen in front
where
of
people are just calling their car from the door, and it comes and drives to them.
Bullshit.
That's not paying attention.
I mean, I'll have that if it's going to call me Michael and call it, and his name's Kit, but. I mean, that'd be. Come on, we all want Kit.
How are you
Kit
today,
had a mind of its own, dude.
That was one of my favorite shows as a kid. Probably part of the reason I'm a car guy. And I wanted a black Trans Am.
Get a Tesla that says that.
Wow.
Yes, I've seen people. I've seen a lot of Kit cars. I was in Portland recently, actually.
There's a ton of them, yeah.
I was in Portland, and I was sitting in downtown in an Airbnb, and we were across the street from a bunch of trash, a place where you don't want to park your car. And it had an impound lot right there, and there was a half-done black Trans Am with the Kit. Had the front end on it, had the part of the dash done, and it had the wheels, but they weren't done with all the rest of the interior, and it somehow got impounded. It was sitting in an impound lot. So somebody who had got started.
I saw a Fiero that somebody had made the front look like that.
I'll age myself. The first year that Universal Studios had that I was there when they unveiled that.
Yes.
And then there was a motorcycle show. They had a motorcycle there too that was kind of supposed to be like Kit, but
Yeah, when I was a kid, we went to Universal Studios Hollywood, and I got to go sit in the Kit in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
It was fun. And
Did it
that
talk
was
to you?
serious. I didn't have it. I guess you could hit buttons and stuff, and it would, but I didn't. I just sat in it and just saw the buttons light it up and stuff like that. It was mainly just a display, but I was little. I was only like 6 or 7.
we stood in line for extra just to go see the unveiling and
Dude, those were the best shows back then, dude.
Yeah, between that and Dukes of Hazard and my
Dukes of
dad
Hazzard.
working on cars and
The
having hot rods,
A-Team
I
and
was a
freaking
mechanic.
Airwolf.
Airwolf.
Oh, Airwolf! I forgot all about Airwolf.
Oh.
Airwolf was great.
And I can never remember the name of the show, and hardly anybody remembers it. But there was a show, and there was a semi truck in the show, but the cab of it was like a helicopter. It was like a helicopter cab.
I feel this show only had like 1 season or something like that.
Yeah, it didn't last very. I don't even know if it was a whole season.
Well, didn't they have
It flopped, but
on Knight Rider? Didn't they have a whole?
Well, they did.
With they
had
had a name for it. The semi.
No, the semi. I can't remember what the semi truck's name. The version of him was Car, the bad car, the bad car of Kit, version of Kit. But then they had the semi truck that had Michael Long's brother or whatever. Just twin brother, looks just like him. He got in a truck because it was like 4 years
you were
ago.
sitting around watching that shit.
Oh, I was watching like 4 years ago. Again, you can watch it on
Hell
Netflix.
yeah.
So and stuff, and it had the semi truck. The one
But
I always made a big deal because the semi truck actually takes Kit out.
Yep.
Oh.
It destroys the whole
Yep.
car, and the only thing they have is Kit, the little part module, and they have to rebuild a whole nother car and everything. Because it was the one thing that took him out because they tried to take out his front wheel.
Yep.
That was what it was. We're going to aim for the wheel, and it failed. And that whole truck took out Kit. But yeah, I remember
I'm
that
glad
was
to
his,
be back,
it
Michael.
was
Did you
Hasselhoff
watch-
with a mustache. It was the evil brother.
Yeah.
you try and watch those old shows. You rewatch them now,
Cheesy
and
as
they're
shit,
so
dude.
cheesy,
They're
dude.
cheesy.
They crack me up.
But it's still fun.
My little brother was obsessed with
Has some
Greatest American Hero.
That's some real hot chicks
Oh, yeah.
in there.
And so we were sitting around trying to watch Greatest American. He bought like this 3-season
Superhero
box
suit
thing,
without the instruction
Yeah.
manual.
Yeah.
So we're watching that show, and it was so funny because some of the cheesiest stuff, like everything was just innuendos.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing was actually like you would barely see somebody go into for a kiss, and then it would cut to a commercial
Yeah.
and come
It's
back
like
and they'd be all smiling and stuff like something
I
happened.
always
Incredible
forgot.
Hulk.
I'd always forget the name of the show, but I always remember this song. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
I'm
I'm walking on
air. Little blonde guy with the curly hair, or whatever, can never get it right.
It's got the damn Jew fro going.
Yeah, it was the funny.
It was a
show,
fun
dude.
show, though. I remember that one too. I always watched a lot of them. I was born in 80, but I like some of the 70s and stuff, 60s black and white shows that come on Nick at Night, like Mr. Ed and My Three Sons. I was always a big fan of those too.
We just watched
As a
the
kid. My Dream of Genie. That was
last year of my Genie that we watched that last night. Me and my mom. That's kind of ironic.
I mean, I think I just had a crush on Genie, but
Yeah.
the Genie. But
Everybody did.
I remember going from black and white thing, but I think it's what it was too. I'd come home from school as a little kid, and then I'd have to wait for General Hospital to end.
Yeah.
And then I could watch He-Man, and I think
Was
it was
it
like I
Dick
Dream of Genie or
something like that?
Night Rider come on after it too.
the DIC commercial and with the rainbow, and then
Oh yeah. It did. It did say that too.
we'd always it's a dick.
Well, it's like when you finally figured out as a kid and started walking around the house saying Inspector Gadget really slow.
Yeah.
You were
Something
you
dirty
were a
to say as a
kid.
kid.
You were a kid at the end of Saturday morning cartoons. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, it was about they real started much
You
ended
didn't
about
have
my
the-
teenager years.
You
the
didn't
late
have the
90s.
real Scooby Doo. You had that stupid Scrappy Doo, dude.
I had Scrap. I still watch regular Scooby Doo too, but I did have Scrap. I did have Scrappy,
Yeah.
and then they had that. Remember the other show where they had the gray dog and like a doom buggy or whatever, and then sometimes they'd have a crossover Scooby Doo because it was like his cousin,
Oh yeah.
the gray dog with the red
What-
hat or red
what-
scarf or something.
I don't remember what
Was
that was.
it-
Like some mystery something.
Wasn't
They
it-
had the Dune buggy
Was
that
it
talked.
Dune Buggy?
It
Wasn't
was
it that
something
the
like that, but it had the tar
Hanna
would talk and
Barbera?
stuff.
They had the
Oh, Hanna Barbera had everything.
something the race. They were always in a race. Hanna Barbera.
Yeah, it was that was. Well, they had the race one too, where they do the race. But the Doom Buggy
But it
was
was
one
the-
where they did things, and they'd have the Scooby Doo crossovers all the time with it because Scooby Doo was like somehow related or cousins with the
Yeah,
Grey Dog.
I don't remember
it was
what
another
that
because
was.
it was a
but I
great name.
remember. I do remember seeing it, but I don't remember what it was called.
There was so many
That was when
cartoons
good
back then.
They
cartoons.
were the best. Dude.
Now they're shit.
Oh, and the best is
You
remember the message at the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'll never forget like G.I. Joe at the end, the down power line one. It was on all the time. Like, don't touch live power lines. Call your local electric company. This could kill you, kids. If you're in the hospital or at the end of He-Man, like, you have to love your friends. Your friends are the friends that are there for you and stuff. You know, it's like, even though during the episode, He-Man gets in a fight with so-and-so, whatever, but they made up later. Remember to always say sorry and be ready to your friends. There's none of that now. That's just a bunch of smartasses now and stuff. And there's no good messaging.
Half the cartoons now are more for like adults.
Rick and Morty and shit like that.
Disney started that.
Yeah.
You ever go to Disney movies and seeing all these one-liners like, wait a minute, I get that, but the kids don't.
Yeah.
And stuff. But I actually, so my littlest girl, I actually would watch, I bought all the DVDs of like Tailspin, He-Man, Thundercats.
The older.
DuckTales. DuckTales is one of my favorites of all. And I watched them with her when she was little. So she got to experience all those cartoons and like the movies too. Like Indiana, we'd watch, all before COVID, every morning I'd have an hour with her before I took her to school and we'd watch Indiana Jones, the Karate Kid series, you name it, any of the Back to the Future, all the good ones from the 80s and 90s and stuff. And then, and even some of like the other ones like Transformers and stuff like that. We just watched parts of it each morning until COVID ruined everything. Yeah. Made it where she was just there and we'd had no reason to get up early or anything like that. And then by the time it ended, she was going to junior high, which I live right down the street, up the street from the junior high. So she walks to school. So, but it was fun watching all that cool stuff with her.
Nice. Yeah. So we became friends years ago because you dated my ex-wife.
Yeah, I knew we were going to bring it up.
Poor sad son of a bitch.
I should have learned.
But cool thing about it though,
I hope she hears it too.
you were around when my oldest daughter Justice was
little. She was like 5.
Yeah, she was little, and I don't know if you remember when she was little like that. She would pick one Disney movie, or Pixar movie, and watch it over and over and over.
All little kids do that stuff, but she was pretty good about it. Soraya my little daughter was the same way too. With oh my gosh, I
to the point where they memorize all the words, dude.
It's more funny. It's like, why is my Mexican daughter wanting to watch Frozen and become Elsa for Halloween? I'm like, couldn't you pick the dark haired girl? You know, it's like, but no, it was. Let it go. Yeah. Way too much. Just hearing it. But no, Justice was like that too. But she was a good kid though. She was a quiet kid, always polite and stuff. Tell you got her chatting though. She'd get going a little bit when she was little. And next thing you'd be like, okay, Justice, that's enough. But she's always a good kid. Love that kid. Still this day.
Yeah, I just remember freaking watching all those fucking movies
over and over and over.
Ants and Toy Story.
Dude, Hope, my other daughter, when she was little, when we first got together with my wife, she was 3 when we got together and I've adopted her and stuff. She wasn't cartoons as much. She'd watch that Cry Baby with Johnny Depp.
Oh, jeez.
Now, I like Johnny Depp and I liked what the premise of the movie was kind of cool. It's a freaking musical.
Yeah, I hate musicals.
Oh my God, I hate musicals. It's like there's nothing worse than a musical. It's like I do not want to see everybody breaking out in a song and dance in the middle of it. Like, wait. And you're like, even they do it in the Disney movies. It's like I was a little kid fast forwarding through it. It's like, I don't want to hear this part. My mom brings home Fantasia. I'm like, just throw that away.
Yep.
Yeah. My wife loves musicals, but she knows that I hate them. So she never tries to watch them when I'm around. But I swear to God, no matter what she's watching, when I walk in the room, they're either singing or having sex. And every time she goes, I can't believe every time she
I can deal with that.
I swear to God, this never happens on this show. And the minute you walk in, it's happening. And I was like, whatever.
I feel like the only reason to watch it.
It'd be really weird if they were singing and having sex at the same time.
That's probably happened.
I saw 2 plays in my life, and I'll admit that it is better to watch a musical as a play than it is on a TV and a movie. I watched Wicked a long time ago with my wife and Eugene. I know I did not watch the movie. I will not watch the movie because of the woke crap. But it was actually good. It was a pretty cool story to it. And then when we went to New York, I watched Chicago. Yeah. And I'll admit that Chicago was easier to watch and listen to music because if you know anything about it, they're all dressed up showgirls. So yeah, it's nice scenery.
I've been to lots of plays and musicals live, and they're all pretty good.
Just those 2. Except for like Assembly when I was a kid that we put one on at school.
And honestly, even here in town, a bunch of the plays and stuff they put on at the UAC Theater are freaking great.
It's funny, too, because I have an uncle that was an actor in a lot of those plays. He did the Fiddler on the Roof in the 90s here at the UCC and traveled around and stuff like that.
Did they do a lot of them at UCC
My Uncle Steve used to do it. Oh, yeah.
Well, they do them both of them. But.
Both of my daughters were in the Nutcracker plays that they put on at UCC all the time. Hope was in it like a few times, Trial once, and stuff.
So I don't mind that. I mean, I think that's cool, but I don't, for whatever reason, musicals on TV, I just can't handle. I mean, I've watched a lot of them. When I lived with my friend Jeremy at his grandma's house, all his grandma watched all day long was old black and white movies and musicals. And I would get stuck there for hours and I'd sit there and watch them with her. And they were horrible, but I can handle it.
So. I can't handle it. And I'm picky on my music too already. So I get real bored. I have horrible ADD though. I mean, I am bad about it. Like teacher lectures and stuff. I was the kid about ready to drool on my desk or fidgeting all over the place. And like, I needed to be in like a technical school or something like that. But it was something I liked though. I got an A. Yeah. Because it interests me. I just never was able to figure out ways to enjoy something that I didn't like.
Right on.
But so like I said, I couldn't go to college because of that too. But if I should have paid attention to technical schools though, because I probably could have went to one of those.
Was there?
There was some around, but there wasn't very many. They're a lot more popular now because people are finally figuring out that
UTI, the Wyoming Tech.
Oh, there's OIT. And so if you want medical, they always had OIT out in Klamath Falls, but that's medical. That's where my uncle went actually. He went to Johns Hopkins too. Actually, smart guy. Though? I got one uncle who's pretty smart. Huh?
Was that around in the 90s?
OIT was.
Was it?
Yeah, because he went there because it was in the 90s. My uncle used to live. I can't remember. I think he lived in like Eugene or something like that, or something north. He'd had to go between Klamath Falls and where he lived, so he'd stay at our house on certain days of the week and to stay with us. And I'd see him at night. And I remember asking him stupid questions too. I'm like a little kid, I'm like 11, so I'm like, "Oh, you're learning all this stuff about the human body." I'm like, "Why do men have nipples?" He's like, "Because you all start out as girls in the morning, and you start, and some just develop breasts afterward." And I'm like, "All right, why do we have butt cheeks?" I'll never forget asking him these things. He's like, "Do you want to sit down on stuff without him?" I'm like, "Good point." But no, he'd always answer to questions like that. He became a nuclear technician, which is just a nice way to say he takes MRIs. Yeah. He works up in the big Seattle hospital now.
Making
Uncle
money. Steve.
I'll go up there to visit you sometime, I promise.
He's been asking you for 15 years.
Don't say that, Carlos, because it's the truth. I want to go with my cousin up there too sometime. I just need to. He's one of my favorite uncles. My mom had 5 brothers and a sister. I'm the closest with my Uncle Steve because he was always around the most and stuff. So he was always great to me. He never treated me any different and stuff. The rest of them, they just didn't live around. They were in Portland or something like that. So, and my aunt lives in like Grants Pass now. I think she's down there and stuff, and I have cousins. But she did live around your town. I was close to my aunt and stuff like that. But then my other moms had their brothers, not so much because they weren't around. One lived in Eugene, one in Portland. And my dad had the one brother. And I'm close with my uncle by far. Very much so, my parents' side and stuff. And he just lives right over here in town across from the fairgrounds.
Sweet. So you just got a new car. How'd that freaking?
I'm so excited.
It's nice freaking car.
So
you said you went pretty far to get that?
I didn't go anywhere actually.
You found it.
I found it. I bought the car sight unseen. Well, I have like 20 photos and a couple videos and stuff. So Is
that still kind of sketchy though?
Yeah. It's a lot of money for a used car, that's for sure. I've never bought a car that expensive. Basically, I had a Camaro, I got a 97 Camaro. It's all built though, loud. It's a toy. It's something you're not going to take down a freeway and stuff. It gets 8 miles a gallon. I got a big work truck, that's a brick on wheels. And my wife's car, the Merino, that we take for everywhere with the family and stuff. But the problem was I get off earlier than she does. And my daughter's in a lot of sports. And I was just sick of taking my truck to her work and getting her car. And I'm just like, I need a car that I could just get in and drive. But of course, so I can't just buy any car. So I've always wanted a performance luxury car.
This ain't no Toyota.
But I don't like big cars. Usually I like light, nimble cars. And I already have a V8, so I settle with a Cadillac ATS-V. 2017, it's got the 465 horsepower twin turbo V6 in it. They only use an ATS-V and an
totally
CT4
badass right there.
Blackwing. And I found it. I was looking since December, and they're pretty rare. There's a lot more CTSs out there than ATSs. tons of them. I haven't seen one ATS-V in town, period. I've seen some ATS regular ones, so they look completely different. I've seen some CTS-Vs with the supercharged V8, but none of these. So I looked far and wide. I wanted low miles. So finally, after trying to get this one in California and the dealership was shady and wanting 40 grand for 24,000 miles, whatever, I found this in Texas, so San Antonio, Texas at Cavender Cadillac. Anybody in Texas? It's a great dealership. They were awesome. So, they were asking 37 and a half or 30 like that for it. I ended up getting it for 36,000. I paid cash. Well, money wire, but, with 29,000 original miles, but I did have to pay $1,200 to ship it here, which was still cheaper than taking time off work and going to get it and all the miles to get it there.
Back, yeah.
Sherpa Transport Company brought it to me, got it here this morning, 2 weeks after I bought it. I'm absolutely excited about it. It is more beautiful in person than I even saw on the pictures.
Yeah.
The only problem with the whole car is the tire pressure monitoring light that's on in every single car that comes in my shop. I never owned a car that had a monitor except for my wife's, which is currently on because those stupid sensors go out all the time. But otherwise, it's amazing, and I'm very excited about it. I've already got parts for it sitting there. I'm doing an intake, exhaust, ported throttle body, and a tune for it to bring it up to about 600 horsepower.
Jesus,
why not?
I mean,
that's awesome.
I mean, everybody needs 600 horsepower on a daily driver, right?
That's right.
Shoot, anymore, there's a lot of cars like that. Yeah,
but it still gets great mileage, though.
You just got to worry about the approaches and entryways.
Yeah, these little carbon fiber lips a little low on the ground there a little bit, but it's not too bad. But I'm used to it from having lower cars before.
I guess having the car shipped, though, I mean, not only is it, probably saving you money from actually doing the trip.
It got 1 mile on it between.
But you're also not responsible for any damage that happens to it on the way here.
Completely insured when you pay for it and everything. I had to actually go through the car when they got it here with the bill of lading, and with all their pictures and my pictures, and go through it and make sure put a mark on it. I will say that Sherpa Auto Group did a great job with it. It was in perfect condition when it got here. Looked better than even I thought in the photos. It's dirty because it had to go through rain and stuff, but I'll get it washed tomorrow. It's supposed to clear up tomorrow.
It's pretty damn cool.
But I didn't want black at first because I've had black. I had a 240SX with a body kit on it, painted jet black, and it was a nightmare to clean. But when it's clean, oh my. I tried for white because all I have is white, but then again, you got to go back to your roots sometimes.
Dude, everything I've had for like the last couple of years has been white.
You can always put a wrap on it.
Camaro's white with orange stripes. Truck's white. Wife's Moreno's white. They're all white. So I guess I'm just going to name this one.
I guess my old truck was freaking primer gray.
Primer gray, yeah.
Well, this one's going to sit with all the white cars there, so I figure I'll just call it Token.
Token.
Good old South Park.
You can put a white strap on it.
Dude, I love it.
No way. No white stripes. If anything, I'm trying to figure out whether I'm going to take the chrome grill out and the chrome pieces on it and go to carbon fiber or black.
It has white rims on it, though, doesn't it?
No, they're silver.
Are they silver?
I'm going to. I'm looking at some Apex wheels for it. They're expensive because they're forged wheels. Like, my wife's not going to listen to this. They're like $3,000 just for the four wheels. But Jesus. I want them in the brushed aluminum, so they're not chrome, but they're still kind of shiny.
Sure.
But
just
not chrome.
Clean look.
And just a clean look, and then do like the darker spots on the car. But I don't want the full murdered out black look though either, because everybody's got black wheels, and everybody went to black wheels so long. So when I went in my truck, I went with chrome wheels because everybody had a white truck with black wheels on it.
What I don't see very often anymore is those the black chrome.
No, yeah, the black chrome or gunmetal it kind of went away. Gunmetal was popular for a while. Now, what's coming back is bronze. Bronze is getting big again, or dark gray.
Copper, bronze. Yep.
But black chrome was cool for a while. It was really short-lived, the black chrome, that polished chrome.
Liked it, though.
I think they call it something else now is why, too. It's because I've seen it in wheels. Because they don't make a lot of wheels for this car because it uses a staggered setup. It uses a wider rim in the back, and they use a different offset front to back, too. Mm-hmm. So it makes it harder to get wheels and get them to match, right? I've tried different setups that would make them even, but it's going to stick out funny if I do that. Like I did in my Camaro, they're all the same and all the same wide on all, but it sits perfectly on it. But that's the way they designed it. You're going to have to stuck with staggered. So no rotations, but oh well. I don't care.
Are you going to drive it every single day?
Well, to a certain, I'm still going to drive the work truck to work because I don't want. Unfortunately, I'm a mechanic.
So it'd be more of a cruising car anyway.
And I'm not going to get into Recaro seats it has in it in my greasy clothes. Absolutely not, because it's got the gold leather inserts in it and stuff like that. No way. But man, it's the same problem with my Camaro though. My Camaro has white leather interior, literally the bane of every mechanic's existence. It's like I literally have to go get a bottle of bleach before I get in that car and wash myself down with it. So it doesn't. It's a 97 with 66,000 original miles on it. But I will never get rid of that car because I bought it in 2002 after I wrecked my 94 on the freeway Camaro, the 28 I had, and I bought it off the lot 4 days later with 19,000 miles on it, and I sold it. That was February, and in November of that same year, my other kids was complaining about the car payment, stuff like that. I didn't need it, so my dad wanted it. I'll never forget this story too. So I'm going to sell it to my dad for what I owed for it, even though I traded in my IROC Camaro that I had too. I had 2 Camaros at one point and it for it and stuff, but he really wanted it, and I wanted him to have it. And it was so cool that my mom was telling him no, and I could say this about it too. I know, because my mom is no longer here, neither is my dad. They both passed away, God rest their souls. So you can't get mad at me, Mom. She was bitching my dad out. You cannot buy that. It's too much. It's $2,000 over what I said you could buy. So my grandma calls up and gives the money to my dad and said, I'm going to give it to you, the $2,000. You can have it. My mom, this is spiteful, calls my grandma up. If you knew my grandma, you did not bitch my grandma out. She would let you have it. That was a tough lady. She loved my son, and she loved me. I was her favorite grandchild.
Listen here.
I don't give a crap what you say, Julie. Yeah. She tells my mom, it says, I'll buy him the whole damn car if you don't like it. It's just like, so don't piss me off and stuff like that. Hands went down. My dad got the car. That's awesome. In 05, it was 02, 05, my dad passed away. My mom never touched that car. And in 2010, my mom passed away, and I went and picked everything out of the house, and that car sat there with 4 flat tires and a dead battery with 55,000 miles on it in 2010. And I got it, brought it back, and in all these 15 years, I put 11,000 miles, but I've also put a lot of money and a lot of power and a lot of customization to it. But it's, like I said, it's a toy, though. It's not something I'm going to drive around all the time. I don't even drive in the rain or anything.
You got the sentimental.
It is. I'll never get rid of it.
Yeah.
It'll go...
100%.
Caslin, my oldest daughter, she's the oldest firstborn. She gets it. Yes, Soraya, you're not getting it. You can stop arguing with me. It's not going to happen.
You get a Cadillac.
Crap. Thanks for telling her that. Now she's going to be up my rear end if she hears this about the Cadillac. You get that one you're going? Don't put too many miles on it, Dad.
Yeah. It's like, why are we driving this?
I can hear it now. Well, she's going to be hit 16 in a couple of years, so she's going to find out what she gets. Actually, what's funny is I tried to get another one of those Camaros. There was one in California, because of the 30th anniversary edition. Had a blown motor in it. Well, I'm currently actually building a new motor for the Camaro right now, a 3-3 stroker with more power. So, because I got a block recently, and I was like, I'm going to go buy this car for cheap. I'm going to take my motor out of the Camaro, put it in that one, build this other one for it, and I'm going to give it Soraya for free. My wife, hell no. Not only they're not insuring it, you're not giving it to that kid, because she knows how she's going to drive.
That's not going to happen.
She's the fired up one with the lead foot and the fast runner and everything. She's just like, yeah, I'm like, but Dad wanted to be so proud, but... And there was this smart part of me like, you want your kid to be alive. Yeah, she nixed that one real quick.
That's funny, dude.
It's bad enough to have to deal with insurance. This car is actually on a different insurance. My insurance wanted a lot of extra money to do it, add it to it. So I ended up going with Progressive. It has its own insurance policy with Progressive. Just me and my wife with it, and that's it.
Totally separate, huh?
So, yeah, it was like $900 to my current insurance, which I won't name the name because a friend of mine's the agent.
That's weird.
$950. And I got this.
They just didn't like what it was? Or?
And that was with 1,000 deductible. And I got this one, I got through Progressive with 1,500, 500 comprehensive, 1,000 collision for $329 for 6 months instead of 900 and something. Wow. I have no idea why. Because I've got a clean record right now. Yeah. I mean, for the last 5 years, I've got nothing on my driving record, and neither does my wife.
Which is wrong.
I did get pulled over on Saturday, but I didn't get a ticket. But that's before I got the car. That's the first time I've been pulled over in a while. But I was on the freeway coming back from Salem, and it was raining, and the cop just pulled me over. I came up behind him, and I knew he didn't have me on anything. He said I was doing it. He pulls off to the right, lets me pass him, then gets behind me, then gets to the left lane. I didn't think he was going to do anything. Then he waits for me to pass the truck in front of me I was doing 70 the whole time, and then he pulls me over. He's like, how fast you going? I'm like, 70. He's like, how fast you going before you caught up to me? I'm
before you were going 70.
Not too fast. I'm admitting the guilt, because I know they don't. Yeah. He says he's doing 83, but there's no way he got me from coming behind him. But I'm not stupid though. Until the pretty pink ticket book comes out, it's yes sir, no sir, whatever you want, sir. Yeah. Because I'm not stupid. I grew out of that stuff in my 20s when I was dumb and my mouth got me in a lot of trouble.
That's why most people get
tickets.
It is
tickets,
dude. I heard the greatest thing.
Nice to them. They're pretty cool.
Make a cop laugh.
Yeah.
If you make a cop laugh, it's like talking with your buddy, right? We're all laughing here. You don't want to give your friend a ticket. So I tried that once. I tried that once on the hill at Sutherland once when I got a tip holder for 98 miles per hour. It didn't work. He didn't want to talk to me. He just gave me a ticket, walked away, and told me to shut up. But this time he was polite and just gave me a warning, let me go. Just said, slow down. I just don't want to see any wrecks out here or whatever. But I don't think I wasn't going 83 though. I started like 78, 79 now, probably.
They really don't like
Everybody
it.
goes 80.
You're like, I wasn't breaking the law that much.
Who doesn't go 80?
Yeah.
If you're not going 80, you got someone in your rear end like
No shit.
tailgating you,
Yeah,
you know, especially in the fast lane. If you're going to slow lane, you're running up on every single truck. So, but no, I'm obviously like certain type of cars for a reason. I'm not going to sit here and lie on a podcast about liking to go slow. That's for damn sure.
Well, I think pretty much all mechanics like
Go.
We're car guys for a reason.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
what mechanic doesn't have a fast car? They all got one somewhere, or a project they're building.
Actually,
Project, yeah.
a lot of mechanics have a car that eventually will be fast,
That's the truth.
but it's always broke down.
It's
so
always
they're
broke, or it's always in
working
the
on
middle
it.
of a project. Yeah.
So then they have another car that's like barely running that they just have to get to and from
Yeah.
work.
It's just like a painter always has a car that needs painted.
Oh yeah, one of a contractor's house is never built.
Yeah.
But no, I'll tell you one thing. My wife's car is always fixed. Now mine, on the other hand, it's a totally different story. I hate working on my truck. Yes, it'll leak oil for as long as it has to before I'll finally fix it or something like that. I do not care. I hate working on my own cars after work, unless it's for performance reasons. Then you got a little motivation,
Yeah.
you know, like I'm going to get something from this. But repairs, hell no. I do it all day and then I'll do it after work. No, but my wife's, no. I like her to be happy with me, like, you know, once or twice a week. So
You try, right? You do
her
what
car's
you
always
can.
fixed. But this is the one we take the kid in. So
Yeah,
But no,
well,
her car.
especially since that's been your reliable vehicle. you
Yeah,
know, or
well,
whatever,
yeah.
so
that's what she's telling me. She's
the
like,
comfortable one.
she's like, the car comes with 2 keys, right? And I'm like, maybe, probably not though.
No.
And she's like,
See, I already told you that
She's
when
like,
you told
no,
me you were going to
no,
buy it.
it doesn't.
She's like, you drive my car all the time, but I have to drive it for the kid. I didn't have a
It's for the
choice.
kids.
When you told me you were trying to buy that, I told you, I
Just have
said,
to take
well,
the-
until your wife takes it over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, the batteries are dead in that key fob, honey. No. I didn't mean
It's
for it
the
not to work
weirdest
for you, not to
thing.
start.
Yeah.
Nah, she'll get behind the wheel a couple of times. It's she did drive the Camaro quite a few times to work whenever I was working on her car, but that was before it was built. Now it's a little obnoxious to drive it to a certain extent. Like you wouldn't want to drive it a lot because it's cammed and everything. You go down the freeway and you drop it under 2,000 RPM with the stick shift, it'll start surging on you, yanking you and stuff like that because it's a stick.
Is it like a charcoal or a black color?
White colored orange stripes.
Oh, I seen
30th
one
anniversary
at
edition.
McDonald's this weekend that was just, it sounded radical.
No, it's pretty good. It's got a stage 2 cam in it from Tick Performance. I'm a huge fan of theirs. They make custom cams.
Totally loping out.
Dude,
Now,
that's
mine's not too bad of a lope. It's more exhaust than it is lope in a cam because I didn't go too big. Often what people do is they put way too big of cams in the car and they kill all bottom end power.
Yeah.
But they sound awesome at idle and they're just raspy, but you hear them try to take off and they're spitting and sputtering for a while till you get them wound out all the way. Then you got
gotta get that
power.
RPM up.
So I went to a smaller 228, 232 lift at 50 cam duration, so it would have more of a flatter torque curve for more usable power. Now, granted, with the 383, I'm going to probably go 2 stages bigger with the 383 because I can handle it. It'll be because bigger when you go with a bit longer stroke, you can go about 10 degrees more duration without noticing the difference because the longer stroke, the longer dwell. So. It works. I can get into car science and engine science for a while, but then I'll just look at the look on your face now.
I have no idea what you're saying to me
He's like-
right now.
He's going to start
Not
talking
at
cam
all,
numbers.
dude.
I'm not going to have a clue.
No.
That's
I was
what
going to tell our listeners, if they don't understand, don't feel bad because I don't know what the
Here,
fuck
we'll
he's
talk about
talking
gun
right
sizing
now,
and
right?
bullet calibers. It'll
Yeah,
be a lot
there
better
you
I
go.
don't
off
know
for
why
you.
he's talking
Ballistics.
about that.
The ballistics of the motor.
All I heard was
The coefficient.
just let your mechanic figure this part out. Yeah.
Oh, remember my wife talks about her work or something like that, or talks about something smart. I'll just start
That's
popping
awesome.
off engine numbers and things and stuff like that, cam specs and lift specs and
That's
bore
great.
sizes. And even people like wonders like, what do you do all your passwords and stuff? Engine codes. And like, you'll tell people that their engine codes. It's like, there's a million engine codes
Yeah,
out there. You're never going
guess
to
it.
guess them.
Go
And they're never
ahead.
anything that I drive. So
Honestly, I mean, when it comes, some people are into data, you know, some people like that part of whatever it is they're into. Dude, no matter what I'm into, I am not an expert. I don't get into anything that deep.
I do.
Mostly because I just can't remember it all.
I get stupid. I'm one of those people that'll sit down at their phone. Like, people think I don't read books. Hell no. My wife's a book reader. She'll put books. My son, oh my gosh, he can put books. He could put a book that's 2 inches thick away in 2 days. I'm an article guy, a data guy. Like, anything you can read on your specs, stuff like that. I read repair manuals when I was 17 years old. Like, why? On my parents' Grand Am. I'm like,
just because.
I could even tell you some of the things, the tools you needed to take apart this and the 3-low engine in that thing just because I read it in a repair manual.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Some people are really into that part of whatever it is. Like our friend Shane, dude, he can talk ballistic coefficients and freaking data about shooting and all that stuff. And dude, I have a gun store. I don't know that stuff. I
actually read tons. I know a ton about calibers I don't even own or stuff I've never even shot, but I can tell you the ballistics on it. I just retain that a little bit. Numbers. I was good at math, but horrible at English class. I mean, like, I knew how to read and write just fine, but poems and all. I'm like, you understand what I'm saying, right? Then why am I here?
Yeah.
I can write down. I mean, my penmanship's horrible, but I mean, what mechanic has nice writing, but or doesn't have grease prints on the paper?
Yeah.
So, but no, I'm just a numbers guy. I've always been a numbers guy. I've always wanted to know every technical specs of things. I'm an engineer at heart, so like all that stuff, things like that.
We were talking at lunch.
Not artistic.
we were talking at lunch, and you were saying that you've got all these guns that you built and stuff, but you enjoy the building.
The building, yeah. Like right now, I will still put together a gun for somebody. They want to come down and buy a lower, get their background check, come over to the house, I'll help you choose parts, and you can come over to the table and sit with me, and I'll put it together with you just for fun. Yeah. An armed friend is a better friend.
Yeah.
So I always say that one. And then like I got into building computers afterward because I had enough guns. I did sim racing actually. So I got into sim racing. I needed to build a PC for it. So between my cousin talking to me and me doing research, next thing you know, I've got 3 PCs in my house. The daughter's got one. I got an office computer that's way overbuilt, and a sim computer. And then I'm building for my nephews, my wife's friends' kids, and all this stuff. And for other people, my coworker and stuff like that. And I just love, and to this day too, if you want a computer, hit me up. You buy the parts. I'll assemble it right there for you. I don't do it free of charge. It's better than sitting and watching TV at night. Yeah. I'd rather put this together, and because I get a finished product and you get to be proud of that product, so it's just, I like to tinker at the table because I'm so sick of getting underneath cars and engine bays. It's nice to be in your house where it's nice and warm. Yeah. You got your soda right there, your bourbon right there, and you're just putting something together and having some fun with it. Maybe the TV's on in the background or something like that. It's so much easier. And plus I've figured eventually when I get my 60s or something, what am I going to do? Like, I'm not going to be able to move that well around cars and stuff. I'm like, I need to be able to leave them at a table, Maybe I can assemble, repair parts, repair modules. That's why I do electronic repairs and stuff like that too. I could do all that. A lot of people make businesses online by doing electronic repairs, remanufacturing stuff. And I used to fix phones for people for years until they started gluing them together. And now
I totally get that because I used to be into woodworking for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And then I just kind of didn't have a place to do it when we moved, and now I just work all the time, so I don't seem to have time for anything like that. So eventually I plan on getting back into that stuff, and I built models for a long time, and
models are fun. Cars. My daughter, my littlest daughter, she loves the Legos. The Lego cars. So I'll get her. I'll go to Walmart every now and then and just go get one of the Fast and Furious. She's got like the Fast and Furious GTR. She's got a Camaro. She's got the Fast and Furious Charger, and she'll just sit down at the little Lego kit and put them all together like that. And then she displays them in a room on her shelves and stuff. She loves those. Those are kind of fun too. But no, it's I used to build models, the little models with glue and stuff when I was a kid, but that's a lot harder. It takes a while.
That's what I did. Was that except for I did military stuff. I built tanks and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I used to do woodworking. I never got into woodworking. I think it's because I did plywood in the mill and just hated slivers and wood for after so many years and digging slivers out of your hand, pulling out the dry chain or dry table. I remember one time I get a sliver in the upper palm of my hand like that, come sideways, and went like 3 inches long all the way across the inside of my hand, and started pushing on. It went all the way in, and then started pushing on the skin on the outside. I just took a knife right there at the mill and cut the other end of it like that, and yanked it out with a pair of tweezers out right there, so no one had to take me to the hospital for a loss of time, because then you get like your safety bonus taken away and stuff. And I'll never forget in there got one in the rear end once. I turned around to the 10-foot table in 98 and my sliver got in my ass. I look up at the foreman we had at the time, Tom, and I used to tease him all the time too. Messing around with him. I'm like, you gonna dig this thing out there, Tom? Like, let's go in that room together. So like that. Screw you, I'm taking you to the hospital if you don't get it out on your own, he tells me. I'll never forget one time I got in an accident in the jitney there, Rosewood Forest Products, and you didn't just back into somebody, you tap anything. But I actually was going off the railroad track. You had to go outside in Riddle. I worked at the Riddle Plant 4 plant, and you had to go out back door. It was dark at night. I was working graveyard. And if you went too little to the left, the railroad tracks were a little high, and if you didn't have your forks up high enough... You ever took a heister and hit a jitney with the fork and come to a dead stop? Bam. You shake for about an hour afterward. Your whole body's going like this. Since I bent the fork a little bit, I had to go get a pee test.
Oh, Jesus.
So I'm with Tom, and I told you, listen, this guy, we have to drive all the way to Roseburg to Mercy for that test instantly right there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until we got on that Roseburg exit did he thought the whole time that he didn't have a jitney driver next to him. Like, I did so much drugs over the weekend. I was telling him.
You're just fucking loaded.
I'm clean as a whistle, you know? It's just like, and then there may be some alcohol from 2 days ago, but that's about it.
Tell me again how long meth stays in you.
So we can finally get the freeway. I'm like, he's like, what are the point of this? I'm like, yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. I'm just kidding. I'm clean. He's like, are you fucking serious? He's like, you fucking me the whole time. I'm like,
that's funny.
Hey, would you expect anything else from me?
Yeah.
I mean, I already call you Twinkie and everything else and stuff like that at work. I get away with everything because I was a smart ass at work, but I did my job really good. You know, I took pride and always take pride in my job. So they didn't want to fire me because they had to find somebody else to do all the work because I was trained to do everything because I was utility for a long time. So that was great, though.
That's awesome.
Oh, I was always a smart ass. That's the one thing you can get out of me is for some sarcasm.
Right.
You did a little bit of everything, dude. You had a bunch of different jobs.
Yeah, I did. Worked in my first job was McDonald's when I was 16 years old in Green right there, and then I worked at Calhoun's right over there from 17 to 20 for part-time. Then I started part-time in the mill, and then I was working weekends and until I could finally, and I was working during the week at Calhoun's and then working every weekend at the mill until finally, because I had a kid at that time. Early. I had a kid when I was 5 days from my 18th birthday. Thanks, Caslin. I'm an adult now, and finally got hired on full time at the mill. But I'll tell you one thing that was miserable.
Yeah,
I will never want to work in a place like that again. It's just boring. It's just
it's monotonous.
Yes,
brutal.
And you can't smoke any weed after work, so everybody's an alcoholic because you're so hating life working there and stuff, and
so fucked up on pills.
That,
just to make them walk.
Because if you had the prescription for it, everybody's on prescription pills or something. It's just boring.
I freaking worked at. I think I worked at 5 different mills over the years. Yeah.
Wow, I'm just the one, and then I got fired from my mouth. Eventually, got me in trouble, and I just didn't fight it, and I took the
pissed the wrong person off.
The free unemployment and took my what it was considered like a voluntary layoff at the end, so it was instead of a termination, whatever. But I did not want to be there anymore, and it was the greatest thing. Actually, it was probably the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I ended up working at Floors by Design down the street with one of my best friends. Afterward, worked there for years until I was working on cars after work.
When I met you was flooring.
Yeah, and I was just working after work on cars, and it just got to the point where I was going to work to make less money, and I just made my own job eventually, and then just been doing that since 2010. I've been full-time mechanic ever since.
Did you just start working on people's cars on the side until eventually you're like,
dude, I was working on my friends' cars for free, just BS with them, hanging out, just because they knew to do it.
I just need to start.
And then people just started voluntarily paying me. I'm like, well, I can make money doing this. I just wanted something to do after. Like I said, I like to fiddle with stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then I was just coming home from work do that, and it was great. And I was just making more. And then I left there, and then and then eventually met my coworker now, Jesse. He moved in next door, actually. Became my friend, and we've been working together for 13 years now together off. For straight. Yeah, we get in fights sometimes, but he's still my brother, We take care of him. We get in fights. We'll be fine in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever.
He's a good guy. I like him.
He is a good guy. He's the perfect opposite of me, too. He's much quieter, a little let down.
He's very
puts up with my
guy.
crap.
Yeah.
Puts up in my mouth, and I screw with him all the time. But he gets me back every now and then now.
Yeah. And since you guys have been working on my cars, and been together, you've both freaking gotten injured at work.
Oh yeah.
Freaking like he got crushed,
His
right?
leg.
Yeah, he got crushed.
I'll tell you that story in a second.
Yeah.
He needs everybody needs to hear this story. Don't be stupid.
But both of you guys have been freaking like pretty badly injured.
Yeah,
and got lucky.
Got lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the last one. He definitely I had left down to the River Forks Market and I was done. I wasn't coming back. And until Tiffany there is like, oh, do you think you're going to look at my AC? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll take it right after I eat lunch here and I'll go back to shop with it. Lucky I did. He's laying on the floor, crawling around trying to get his laptop to work because his phone got crushed in his pants. And first thing is, I'm like, what happened? I got my leg smashed and it's smashed pretty good. I'm like, I need to check you, make sure you're not bleeding out or whatever like that. So first thing I got to do is get my buddy on the ground and rip his pants off. What's more funny is there's a camera in the shop that's like, angled down over this truck and trailer that all you see is me rip off pants and go down. Yeah. And I'm checking his leg, make sure he's not bleeding internally and stuff like that. I call his wife. Oh, yeah, it was bad, dude.
These are really close coworkers.
Oh, it was bad. The camera angle does not look good at all. Nice. You should see pants come off, me rip them off, and me go down and inspect. And all you see is me go down there and sit.
What kind of snake was it? It was a rattlesnake. Suck it out.
And you hear Jesse go, well, this is the first time this has happened.
No, he was in pain, trust me. He was all right. Call his wife, get her over there, load him into the truck. Like that. What happened was the moron decides that he's going to get this truck off a trailer by himself because he runs Rosewood Trailer Rentals. He's got a trailer. He's got a buddy's truck is what he's got. He went and picked it up the day before. He's got a trailer. Well, it's a tilt trailer. So he has the tilt pole, but the trucks he thinks is fine. It's just sitting on a trailer, but the tilt pulled, the thing is. So you know he's standing behind it, and it's not chained down or anything, and all of a sudden it decides to tilt. Yeah. And he tries to jump out of the way as it's rolling back, and it caught his right leg, thigh, right between the Smitty built, like those roll bumpers, they're kind of like two tubes, that and the bench, and smashed him right there. The only thing that caught him, he ended up being fine. He had some little soft spots. Some spots were still kind of numb and stuff like that. And he been okay. He was able to walk. It was Friday. He was able to walk with a cane on Monday. What got him was his phone. He had a big, tall phone like the Samsung Ultras. And it was in that pocket and it wrapped around his hip when that's against that bumper and gave him a piece of armor, basically. And took out a lot of the grunt of that. And that phone I think he had a broken femur. Yeah, but he didn't break in. He got really lucky and stuff. I'm like, you idiot, you never do that again. Make sure they're chained up and stuff like that. I'm like, I was ripping him a new one. I'm like, you're my partner in crime, man.
You can't be getting hurt and leaving me here by myself.
Exactly. If we get hurt, it screws up the schedule. We both make less money.
You don't have any employees. It's just you two. Yeah.
That's what keeps it so cheap for the customer, though. It's just us two. So they are thinking about getting a third and maybe expanding a little bit more.
The midget.
Yeah, midget. Or just small girl. Actually, believe it or not, I have my wife's cousin's kid coming over. She's a certified Subaru. She's been learning to do Subarus and stuff. She's a tiny little girl, and she's coming over to use my garage at my house to do her clutch this weekend. And I want to see how good she is and stuff, though. See if she can do this
it's
stuff.
It's a working interview. She just doesn't know about it.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I think if I get a third one, if she's good at this, I'll give her a shot. She's family and stuff like that. She's a go-getter. And they don't find girls very passionate about cars like that to want to be a mechanic and stuff. So, unless they're 6 foot tall and 270, like
that's picking up cars.
Those the butch ones, but no, she's pretty cool. So I'm proud to help her out, let her come over, and I got some things to do tomorrow, but I'm going to help her in between all I can and stuff. Show her the things because Subarus are Legos. They're easy. Yeah. They're simple. I don't find it hard.
Volkswagen. Yes.
They are too in a way. They're not hard. The only problem is the engine is a little hard to come, but they come out super easy though. Subarus, because the best part about the transpole is you can literally just go in the engine bay and reach behind the engine because the engine's only 2 feet long, and there's all the bell housing bolts right there. You don't have to get underneath it. You don't have to get underneath it for 2. So, and then to pull it out. But otherwise, they're not bad. But yeah, I want to see how she does and stuff because I think I need a third person so I can actually do more office work and less work on them. Plus, I'm 11 years older than Jesse. I'm gonna get slower faster than him and stuff. And I worry because right now I'm in my 40s now, and I'm like, man, everything hurts. I had a kink in my neck this morning.
It gets better. It gets way better.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
Way better in the hurt department.
Yeah.
Well, he's in better shape than us, though. So, I mean.
Yeah.
I try
He
to
might
be.
last
You
longer.
go to their 60s, and then you'll.
Yeah, I try to be in a little better shape. My parents stuff because losing parents when they were 49 and 50 years old
I
and
hear
stuff
ya.
and
I
stuff.
hear
I
ya.
don't, but I'm in way better shape than both of my parents ever were. So, and I'm only creeping up 4 more years to when my dad passed away, but I'm definitely better. I take care of
Damn.
myself better.
Yeah.
And learned sooner than he did. He was starting to take care of himself a little bit
That's
more
the
the
big
last
thing.
few years before, but I don't know. I learned. By I was probably 40s, I started to take care of himself better. You know, it's like we can't. I want to live to see my kids grow up. You know, a little older and stuff.
I know
And I want to see a
exactly what you
grandkid. You know, I don't want to be like stuck like my
That's
kids.
why I just started kind of taking better care of myself and trying to lose weight and stuff because I want to hang out with my grandkids more. So,
Yeah, exactly. You got some cool grandkids too, and they're growing up fast.
yeah.
Those little girls are cool.
And I still got more kids that haven't had kids yet, so
You
I
got
want
plenty
more
of room.
grandkids.
I feel sorry for Sajai, but all those girls. But to get stuck with your wife and 3 daughters and everything
Yep.
else, it's like, gosh. And I have 3 daughters. I do have 1 son though, but I trust me. But I live in a house though. I've lived in a house. I always had the 2 daughters, and the dogs are girls too.
I got two daughters and a son and my stepson, which I can't count him as my regular son because we've been together
yeah,
for so long.
I remember working on his truck for him.
But I also count
Niece
my
and
niece and my nephew as my kids too.
Yes,
So
same here.
they're a little younger, and then we got lots of bonus kids. But
I got nephews. That's too. I got my nephew Glenn and my nephew Jason and stuff. And that's what I built them computers and stuff like that. I've been hanging out with them a lot. They'll come over and stay over and stuff like that, and just hang out with Uncle Kenny and stuff like that. Because I'm a kid at heart. I am not a grown up.
yeah,
I'm making stupid decisions, cars, everything. I'm not grown up. You only need to when you grow up. You only need to mature enough to be responsible. That's it. You still catch me in there watching He-Man sometimes if it comes on when it come on TV. I don't care. Cartoons are awesome.
Right on. Hey, I'm going to pause this for 1 second.
Okay. Right there. I mean, come on. Out of all people to text.
Yeah.
All right, we're back.
Speak of the devil, and she will text.
Ears are burning. Fuck.
Oh my god!
I
dude.
just got a text from Carlos's ex-wife that we were just talking about. And she wants to be on the podcast,
Dude,
Carlos.
I told you she's commented a couple times, and there was no way it would happen. Dude.
I bet she's got lots of stories.
I get her and I get along just fine now because there's no money transferring.
no,
hands.
nothing to argue.
There's nothing to argue. I mean, we don't have. Yes, we still have justice. We have
grandkids together.
but
yeah.
we don't have to.
No.
We don't have to coordinate anything.
Fuck no.
So there's nothing to argue about. So we get along just fine.
I'll admit, we're good friends. We are good friends. We've stayed good friends, and I'm always going to be around her and stuff. I'll never forget one time I come home, and there she is in the back porch, my wife, and there's the mother of my kids, too, sitting there, and I just walked in the back porch and said, nothing can good from me being out here.
Turned
I'm
around
leaving.
and walked off.
I remember you guys were seeing each other when
Oh, jeez.
you guys were seeing each other when Mariah and I's mom split up.
Yep.
And then I ended up with Mariah by myself, and she was only like 4 months old.
Yeah, she was little.
And I had to work, and at first I couldn't afford daycare, so Alicia actually would watch her for me while I was working, and actually Alicia saw Mariah take her first steps before I did. But that's when
that.
you guys were seeing each other. That's when we
I
met.
remember.
That's rough.
She was also taking care of like Kindness kids and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
she was like kind of watching kids,
daycares when she was getting
which
money to
everybody
daycare.
thought was crazy. They're like, "Why are you letting your ex-wife watch your other wife's kid?" And
She
I'm like,
obviously cares about my kids.
I was
so,
like,
you know.
I was like, I got nobody else.
Well, I got a funny story with that too, though. So, both of my parents are gone, and now like my older kids, because I have my 2 oldest kids are with another lady, and then when I got together with my wife, Hope was 3, and I've adopted her and been her only dad, and then we adopted my 14-year-old together. We've had her since she's born, but my Hope did know my mom a little bit when she was little, like 5, 6 when my mom passed away. So she knew a little bit, but didn't know my dad. So Soraya doesn't have any grandparents on my side.
She has no memories, yeah.
But they do. Get this. So Hope and Soraya's grandma is, believe it or not, the mother of my kids' mother. They call her Nana. And when they were younger, they would stay the night at Nana's house, just like it is. And like, especially Soraya's like, that's Caslin and Keaton's grandma. Why isn't that not my grandma? You know? And she'd stay out there and love it out on the property with Linda and stuff like that. And I get great credit. I'm actually just told Linda this week that because she's moving to Texas too, where the mother of my kids left too, with her husband, who I get along with great. We love each other. We're all grand. So if I was actually going to see about them even picking up a car in Texas for me or whatever, but she's moving down there, and I told her the truth that I didn't want her to leave. You know, even though I have no relation to her. I was never even married to her daughter. I just have 2 kids with her. We were just together for 5 years. But when you have kids, they're grandkids and stuff.
It's a big part of your life.
She's been like a mother person to me and everything, and grandkid to my grandma to my kids. So
it's the way it's supposed to be.
Well, it takes a village, they say. So I'm a firm. I've never been one of those jealous types or anything like that. That's like when we and Leash were together, and your kid and stuff. I'm like, there's nothing wrong here. I could watch his kid and stuff like that. Yeah. We can both be good parents around the kid and let him see his kid. Don't argue with them and stuff like that. I was going through hell with me and my other kids didn't like each other when we broke up. We'd get along great later. We resolved it and stuff like that. That's why I always tell people, anybody out there, if you're getting a breakup and you got kids, dude, just get along.
You got to.
Yeah.
You're for the kids.
So
you're going to hurt
much
the kids.
easier.
You're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to hurt yourselves more than anything, too, because you're not going to see the kids as much. You're not going to get the quality time. Just get along.
I think, and I don't, whether you're a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter. If you become a single parent, I don't care how many people freaking offer to help you out.
There's never enough.
Very few of them are actually willing to help you out.
That will step up and do it.
Well, there's always the one thing too. I remember telling, I think it was my sister-in-law the other day and whatever like that. And I'm like, I don't want to help you, but I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm talking on the phone. She's like, you don't want to hear about my problem. I was like, I'm listening right now. And I'm the last person who wants to listen to somebody's problems. Yeah. And I'm like, it goes back to what I told you when we were sitting at Splits a little bit ago. It's like Grandpa always said, you don't have to like it. You just have to do it and stuff. So it's like, does anybody really want to go help somebody move?
Yeah.
No.
Do they really? No.
Is the worst thing
You do it because it's the right thing to do. And well, also, since they're going to help you later, probably too. Next time you need, it's called favors needed. But the point is, though, is that it's just, and then plus when after you're done doing it, it wasn't fun while after, but after you'd feel good about yourself afterwards. So we all grow up and understand it. You don't understand it so much as a kid, but when you grow up older, those times like that and knowing that you did a good thing feel a lot better at night and help you sleep.
I don't think the younger generation learned that lesson too much, though.
I don't think anything Gen Z has learned anything. I'm going to if this ever gets a popular podcast, I'm going to have a lot of Gen Zers after me if I keep talking now. So
I'm pretty sure Gen Zers are after everybody, dude.
Yeah. They get
offended by anything. So
we're all Gen X in this room right now, and they're coming for the wrong people.
Yeah,
yeah.
Fuck your feelings.
We don't care. I have the other shirt at home that says the OG of FOFA.
Yeah, fuck around
and find out. It's like
the feelings are the last emotion to fucking think about.
We're the last ones that knew what it was like without internet and cell phones. We're the last ones to deal with that. We're the last ones that have to deal with parents to be like, you know what? You say I'm bored?
Yeah.
Oh, you're bored? I'll give you something to be here to keep you from being bored. That's why you got the hell out of the house, The hose water thing isn't because we couldn't use the sink. It's because we didn't want to go in the house and get stuck in there.
Yeah. Well, we weren't allowed in the house, dude. If it was daylight outside, you weren't allowed in the house.
I was allowed in the house, but that was a choice. Yeah. I had to go to my room and stay in it. And I was stuck in it. Or I had to get out and stay out.
Go out.
So, because I was an only child. They were pretty nice to me like that. But I'd have to. But if I was annoying, I'd get thrown out. But why would I want to? I mean, we could get away with practically anything. Everywhere. They wouldn't know where I was. I mean, I said I was at the end of the street, 5 streets away. They never came and looked for me. No phone tracking me or calling me or anything. They weren't going to walk down there and look for me. They were just going to wait till I came back, Yep. Where were you?
You said you were at Sunny Slope.
Right where I said I was. I did. I lived right down from Sunny Slope. I literally lived.
We were at Kelly's Corner.
I lived on Burdett Street. So I was like 6 houses in the trail to Sunny Slope Field.
Yep.
So that's where I was most of the time. But I would say I was down the street because I was actually on the other side of Sunny Slope. We're walking all over the place.
I was at the top of the mill.
You know what was funny though is we didn't comprehend that at the time.
No.
Every time you were farther than you were supposed to be, you were like, "How are they going to find out?
Yeah,
they're going to find out. They're going to find out."
I'll never tell a story. I had this next door neighbor that lived next to me. God rest his soul. Kirk passed away a couple years ago, but he was like my older brother to me. He was 3 years older than me, but he always treated me like I was little brother. He was always nice to me, took me everywhere, but stayed at night with him next door. And we'd always do the same thing. As soon as his mom would always read at night. She was a single lady her whole life for a long time I ever knew and stuff. And she'd read and be late too. But after midnight, we're waiting for her light to go off in her room because we wait 15 minutes. We're out the door. Well, out the window.
Right.
Then we started getting cocky and going out the front door.
We're going right through the door.
Mistake, though, buddy. Mistake. So it's finally after about the third time staying the night. We're walking out the front door, just walking around green in the middle of the night, getting into stuff.
Jeez.
May or may not. This is statute of limitations is up for breaking into a school, right?
At least getting
30-something years ago. So
What Gen Xer never fucked around with a school?
you know, we broke
Or
into
library.
Green,
Or-
but we come home one night,
Winston. Yeah.
open the door, and the light flips on.
She's just sitting there.
Oh, shit. And she'd always say, his name was Kirk. She'd say, Kirkus, sit down. And she said, Kenny, you can go to Kirk's room.
Yeah. We're
So
gonna
I'm waiting
talk.
in there, you know, like waiting. Like, what happened? What happened? And she's like, she told me, blah, 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 can't do that. And you're younger than me and it could get you hurt, blah, 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 blah. So the next day, you know what I'm thinking, right? We're next door neighbors. She's going to tell my parents. So you're not saying a damn word all day. I'm like 11 years old, 10 years old or something like that. And I'm just waiting. When am I getting busted? When am I grounded for a week?
Yeah.
You know, like, and then finally it's about to happen. I think I walk out the door. We're getting in my parents' car together and she walks out with Kirk too to get in their car. And my dad says, hi. And I'm like, shit, get in the car and hide. And she turns around and says, hi. Have a nice day, and gets in her car.
Well, at least she was cool for you.
Making eye contact with you.
No, she didn't. She didn't. She acted like nothing happened.
Right.
And I'm like, this is the coolest shit on the planet. I love this lady. You know, it's like, I thought because I would have got grounded for a week or two. And, you know, and you're like 10 or 11. Like a week or two is.
That's a big shit.
I was grounded for the year of 1991.
Fucking year.
Exactly.
But no, I'll never forget that. She never told me ever.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend back then, and I swear to God, like I was saying, you always think you're gonna get caught. Well, her parents had it figured out, dude. They would just, I'm pretty sure, like every once a month, they would call her in the house like she was in trouble, set her down,
And she would tell her
and
herself,
they'd be like, "You have anything to tell me before?"
we have this conversation.
So that you don't get in as much trouble as you're going to get in.
God, I've done that.
And she would spill her fucking guts about everything that she did wrong. And next thing I know, I'd get a call or I'd call her and her parents would answer and say, "Oh no, she's grounded for 2 weeks or whatever." Because she would, they didn't know shit. They just did that once a month and she would spill her guts every time.
I do that to Hope and to work a little bit till she got real lot older, you know, and work. But with Soraya, absolutely not. That kid's emotions are tough as nails and she will pull that. And I didn't do shit until the very last second till you take the picture out, prove where she was at. It's like, yeah, I did it.
That's what you're talking about.
And you're just like, and you just hear her go, how long am I grounded?
Yep.
She's training for World Series of Poker, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, she is good at it too. That kid is emotionally strong as hell. She did that. As soon as it's grounded, eyes drop, hands the phone over, walks to her bed, asks how long, and goes to sleep. Just be like, I'll just sleep this off. I'm like, you act like this is jail.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Who have you been talking to? Because that's what you do at county jail.
Well, everybody knows why everybody asks for the free Benadryl in jail. He's like, what would you want to be awake for that crap?
My allergies are fucked.
Yeah, I got bad allergies. Give me extra Benadryl. It's like, duh. You just want to sleep.
You sound like you know about this.
I got a couple of you. I got in trouble.
I read a book or two.
Driving incidents, maybe when I was in my 20s. That was only driving.
I never saw you in there.
No, it was the
Yeah, I never saw you there.
2 days once,
What are you talking about?
4-dayer once and a week once, and most of it was just for not doing the work crew for the DUI or whatever. So it just made me go to jail for it. You know, probably the only time I ever read a book. I've read more books in jail than I have in real life.
Dude, the worst part about reading a book in jail is those fuckers pull pages out of the middle of the book.
You let you bring in your own book, but you have to leave it there.
Yeah, I know.
So
I figured that out, but
so I brought in a couple books at a time, and I read the other ones in there too. But no, it's boring. That's the worst thing in the world. Holding. Oh my God.
I was never in there long enough, so.
I remember the first time I said
I've been
2
there a
days of
couple
holding. Then the 4 days was 3 days of holding and 1 day in the dorm.
Mine
And then
was
the next one was
12.
2 days of holding and 5 days in the dorm and 5 days in the dorm. But the dorm is cake because you got a TV most of the day. You can play games with everybody.
you can listen to everybody argue about fucking watching Cops. I don't understand. You're in jail. Why are we watching cops?
Evidently, you failed.
The biggest joker was like the hilarious thing was that I got to the dorm. I'm like, I'm going to go take a shower. All right. So, and I start to take off my flip flops, and the guy in the top bunk says, hey, don't do that. I'm like, what? He's like, put your flip flops back on.
Put your fucking shoes back.
And he's like, I'm like, what? He's all, put your flip flops on in the shower. And I'm like, why? And he's all, baby batter. I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, yeah, do not take your flip flops off in the shower. I get it now. It's the only place they're closed off from cameras.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even think I want a shower now.
Yeah, you
just went to washcloths in the sink.
You ruined it.
It's like, oh, this is fucked up. No, I didn't do long in there, so I'm not a criminal, that's for sure. I just wasn't smartest in driving stuff. That's it.
I was the same thing. All of my stuff was for failure to appears for driving shit.
It wasn't a fear. I feared. I just didn't do the stuff afterward.
Yeah.
Follow through.
Mine was all either not appearing in court or not paying for tickets.
Yeah. That was it. Mine was I ended up, what happened, my biggest one is I got 2 DUIs in like 4 months apart. I got a second before I went for the first one to learn my lesson. And it screwed me pretty good. It lost my license for 5 years and stuff. And that's I learned my lesson there though. So that's why I won't drink very much and drive at all now. You know, I'll drink and have fun, but I just don't drive. It was so much I found out it was way easier just to call a taxi or something or somebody else.
Copy.
But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was a point there where I was driving all the time. And it was just stupid and stuff like that. And I got caught. I forget. Of course, I get caught when I do get caught, too. I wasn't even doing anything stupid. It's just the first one, I literally was in the house drinking a beer when the cops got there because my mouth pissed off the neighbor. Again, learn in your 20s to shut up when you need to shut up. When the neighbor's pissed, just shut up. Just tell them okay. I learned that now. Just shut up. Because my 20s my mouth got me in so much trouble. Thanks, Mom, for the big mouth.
Oh, you honestly don't seem like that to me, though.
Not to you. It's just like that. I was definitely mouthier, especially in, to authority and stuff like that. You know, like my boss is in the mill, stuff like that. You know, I was always sarcastic. I'm sarcastic around you, but I'm not meaner mouthy. But in my 20s, I was cockier and. Yeah, it got me in trouble. Yeah. If I would have shut up a few times, I would have been in a lot less trouble. like I told you to learn now when I get pulled over, you know?
Yes, sir.
Now I don't. Yes, sir. No, sir. Sorry, sir. Till the pink ticket comes out. You're a jerk, sir. Yeah. Remember one time in Medford, after the pink ticket come out, he's popping off after the Fast and Furious movies, and I was younger or whatever, and he tells me, you've been watching those Fast and Furious movies. Oh, yeah. Just all of that. Got to get the body kit on this and the NOS. And I'm being a smart ass out the window to him. He's like, you trying to piss me off? I'm like, ticket's already in your hand. I really don't care.
I had to go to something in Eugene or something. I don't remember. I was going north on I-5 and I got right when I was getting on the freeway at 119 here in Green. And right when I got on the freeway, a state police went by. So I was like kind of behind him. And so I was kind of following him through town, and then we got just north of Rose where we're like up at Sutherland, and he freaking kicks it up to like, I don't know, he was going like 85, 90 miles an hour. And so I sped up a little. I wasn't going as fast as him, but I was going at least 80. And so we're going and we're going. And then we get to those curves before Cottage Grove or whatever, and he like just gets it on. Like he's going like over 100 miles an hour.
Gone.
Just disappears. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I didn't speed up that much, but I was going probably 85 or 90 around those curves. And I come around the corner, the last one, and he's sitting there on the side of the freeway. And so I go flying past him. He flips his lights on, and I just pulled right over.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this? You know, so I pull over, and he comes up to my window, and had my gun sitting between the seats.
Oh, I know where it sits. And to pick up your truck all the time.
Yeah. So that was before my truck. I had a little Honda car.
Yeah, you still can see you having where
so
the
I just had a gun sitting between my seats, and he's like, "Oh, you got a concealed carry permit or whatever?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "What is that?" And I told him, and he goes, "Why are you going so fast?" And I go, "'Cause you were."
Just keep it up with you, man.
Goes, what do you mean? And I go, well, I mean, I started off going, regular, like 70 miles an hour or whatever. but you were like, I was right behind you, and you just sped up a little bit. So I sped up a little bit, and you didn't do nothing. So I figured I was fine.
Fuck
and
it,
so,
we're
so I
driving.
was just pacing you, and then you freaking, I said, but once you freaking like got it on, I didn't speed up anymore. I just kept my regular pace that I had. I just figured I was all right because you didn't care before. I figured you would have like brake checked me or something.
You were gone, yeah.
And he goes, so you don't have an emergency or anything? I go, no, I'm just going to an appointment. I'm like,
I can go as fast as you can.
Yeah, I just figured if you wanted me to slow down, you would have like tapped your brakes or something. And he just looked at me and just started laughing. He just giggled at me, and I was like, I'm sorry, dude. If I would have known, I would have slowed down. And then he goes, oh, all right. And he takes my ID and he goes and runs it. And then he comes back and he didn't give me a ticket. He just told me to slow down. He goes, don't be trying to keep up with the cops.
Yeah.
He goes, that's not a good excuse.
Yeah, it's not
and I go, it made sense in my brain.
My brain's fucked up.
I got a good story for you. So there's a cop in town. And he's last I knew he was on a dent team or whatever like that, but I won't mention his name, of course. But not. I had an 87 RX-7 Turbo 2, turbo rotary, and I was working graveyard at that time. So I had got Wednesday night and Thursday nights off. So I'm always up late. And I was coming home from a buddy, can't remember his name, Tim's house. And we both worked at the mill.
So this is a long time ago.
Oh yeah, this is. I was still with my still lived at the duplex across where I live now. This is like 2000 or something, 1999, 2000. And I got this RX-7. I was going down Garden Valley a Thursday night. So, but there's people drink Thirsty Thursdays around town and stuff. And he pulls me over in Jack in the Box parking lot because I was doing 42 and a 35 or whatever. And he's like, asks me, he's like, oh, where you going? You know, are you drinking? Like, no, I'm just working graveyard. I was just late at a friend's house. I'm going home now. I live right over here. I don't drink or anything like that. He's like, okay. And then he's like, how fast does this car go? And I'm like, that depends. And he's like, what? And I'm like, are you giving me a ticket? And he's like, oh, no. I'm just checking, make sure you're not drinking and driving and stuff. He's like, I like cars and stuff. I'm like, I've had it up to 142. And he's like, I had the state Camaro to 150. Like, dude, we're just talking about cars. And he lets me go. It's cool. So then I become single about the year later. And I got a 240 SX now. And I get this call from my buddy, Ed, and who I lived with at the time. We were talking about him earlier. And he's like, dude, there's a party at the house right now. And there's girls here. It's 11:30 at Riddle, and I got to get home to Roseburg now. So I get off on the Highway 99 exit, and I'm flying. Remember where Lindyland used to be there?
Oh, yeah.
So I get pulled over right there in front of Lindyland, kind of like where the Field and Fun store is, actually, by the time he gets on behind me, and I pull over there. It's that motorhome place right behind it. And he gets out, and guess what officer it is?
It's that guy?
It's that officer. He looks at me like, I know you. You're the Kenny. You had that red RX-7. I'm like, yep. He's like, what the fuck are you doing driving that fast? You passed a UPS truck doing 80 on that 55 corner right there. I'm like, truth? And he's like, yes, I want the truth. I'm like, I got single about 6 months ago, and there's a bunch of girls at my house right now having a party, and I want to be there. And he's like, are you fucking serious? And he's like, I'm 100% serious. And he just starts laughing his ass off. He's like, all right,
fuck out of here.
I'll make you a deal. He's like, if I hear your name in the next 30 days on this radio one time, I'm going to tell them to pull you out of the car and give you with every fucking thing of the law. Is that okay? But no ticket today. I'm like, okay. He's like, get your ass home, get drunk, get late, and don't drive. He tells you just like that. And I'm like, yes, sir.
That's awesome, dude.
He was the greatest officer, and I'll tell that story 1,000,000 times. And when this mic's off, I'll tell you who it was.
Yeah. Dude, there's some awesome cops. I remember in high school, me and my buddy Will, we were freaking up on Snob Hill over here, freaking smoking weed on lunch.
Yeah.
And freaking on a cul-de-sac like a couple of fucking idiots.
Can't go nowhere.
So here comes a cop down there, and we're both like, acting all stupid. He pulls up next to us, got out, freaking cloud of smoke rolling out of the car. You can't fucking
Cheech and Chong it. Yeah.
Isn't the license back there?
Yeah.
He took our weed and our pipe.
I thought I was parked.
and told us to get back to school. He did not freaking give us tickets, didn't call our parents, nothing. But he took our weed and our pipe and freaking.
It's kind of funny. The stories that my dad used to tell me when he was a kid. The cop would come over, take their weed. Then he thinks he's out at a party at River Forks Park, and there's the cop there smoking his weed.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know.
That was
the
happened. 70s though, or something. So my dad said that was a lot more common back then.
Yeah.
And then the stories I used to hear back then about they let people go and stuff is not how it is now.
No.
But
when I was
years.
with Alicia, she was pregnant with Justice, and we were at graffiti night. We were downtown graffiti night, and I literally had one beer. And then we were leaving, and we were driving back in that we were living in Sutherland, and we got pulled over, and the cop wanted to give me a sobriety test because he could smell alcohol on my breath. So he pulls me out of the truck to give me a sobriety test, and Alicia, she she fucking chihuahua in the fucking truck,
Min pin.
Yeah, she's just blah, 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 blah. I'm like, shut up, you're gonna make me go to jail. She starts screaming at him that she's gonna piss her pants and she's gonna get out of the truck and piss on the side of the road, and she just, I'm pretty sure the cop
It's like, get
sick
the
of her.
fuck out of
I I was like, officer, I'm so sorry. I'm apologizing for her.
Oh, God.
He did follow the light with your eyes, and that was about it.
Same thing.
And he's like, I'm sorry, dude. He's like, oh, you need to get home.
Would you
I'm like,
get
I'm
her
so
out
sorry,
of here?
dude.
The best thing is it happened to me with her too.
Did it really?
Yeah, I went Yogi's one
God.
time with her, and she was really trashed. Now, granted, I had drank a little bit, but I wasn't drunk or anything like that. But I was a lot less than one beer that I told him, a lot more than one beer. And he gives me the little eye test or whatever like that. But she's sitting there the whole time. I'm the drunk one and stuff, just barking things out from the passenger seat.
my
And she's just
fault.
like, go take her home like that. And whatever. And I think that if it wasn't for her annoying him, he might have got a little
I'm
further.
pretty sure that's why he didn't fuck with me anymore, too, because I didn't even take a full sobriety test. He was like, I'm sorry.
Get out of here.
He apologized to me and freaking
You got to
said,
go
that's
with that. Get out of here.
That is hilarious. Maybe
Yeah.
she has a good reason to have her around sometimes. Go annoy that
no.
guy.
No.
Yeah, she listened to this. We're
God,
dead. We're dead when she hears this.
it.
Dude, she doesn't have an attention span long enough to listen to the whole podcast.
God, I hope so. Or I'm going to hear about it.
Somebody will.
Oh, she will now because she knows that I'm on here.
Yeah, she might listen to this one.
No.
Oh,
that is
God.
hilarious.
So
that is so funny. It's such the same story, though.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, different subject. Because I wanted to cover this on the podcast. So you said you got into sim driving,
Oh, yes.
and
Loved
you
it.
spent a ridiculous amount of money building a driving simulator.
Thanks. Now my wife can't hear this one.
So,
It wasn't that much.
Yeah, it was.
so
I was
tell
trying
me
to
about
save
this,
you, man.
because this is, you were telling me about it, and I was like,
So I bought it all started because I just was stupid and bought a PlayStation 5. I bought a
Sure.
PlayStation 5. It's got Gran Turismo 7. So I'm like, okay, this is cool. Well, and it all started, it really started, I wanted a PlayStation 5 because I went down to my neighbor's house, this young kid, and it was New Year's party or whatever like that. And he had a VR2 helmet with a PlayStation 5 and I was playing Pistol Whip in it.
I think that's how we started talking about this, because I was
What a
telling you about my
blast.
wife watching these VR
Oh, it's a blast.
videos and wanting to do VR stuff.
Blasting and Pistol Whip is amazing fun. It's a super cardio workout too. And you will so, if you turn it up on hard, you will get your ass worked out too on the game because you're constantly ducking down, up, down until you realize it. Your legs are sore as hell and stuff in a VR helmet. So that all started. So I got this PlayStation 5. I got the VR helmet. Then I buy GT7. So I'm sitting in my chair and I put the VR helmet on GT7. Oh my, you're sitting inside the car. So I'm trying to sit in a chair and hold a remote controller. And you can take the controller and just turn it like a wheel too because it's motion. So that's cool. And I'm at awe. I'm like, I need a wheel. I need a wheel so bad. So I buy this cheap Thrustmaster wheel setup with shifter and stuff and a fold-out set in the living room and just push it against the TV. And then the VR is better, though, so I go with the VR. The VR is just amazing. I still have triple monitors, triple 42s, but I still prefer the VR. Even though you can't see the steering wheel if you have other displays or you have to feel for the buttons, but it's still worth it because you're inside the car. You have depth perception of the yin-yang. So then that's not good enough. I need better. I need the Fanatec DD. So that is the first one. And then of course they come out with another one and I need that one. A couple years later, I've got 13 wheels, 2 bases, a full 80/20 aluminum rig with racing seat, modified shifter, 2 sets of pedals, a racing sim, triple 43, 42s. Dude, it is a blast, though. You can get in there, especially if you drink a little bit or something. You can drink and drive as fast as you want to.
You ain't getting pulled over, huh?
VR, if you drink a little bit, it actually makes it more real.
Oh, God.
Because it takes your senses down and stuff. And you can go to town. I sometimes sit in there for 2 hours and then pour a helmet off and realize, oh my God, it's 11:30. I have to work in the morning and stuff. And it's just a blast. And you can do whatever you want, buy all these cars and all these strange cars. And then I built a PC too to build all them too. And granted, I've slowed down a little bit to like once or twice a week now for an hour or so, but I'll pick back up again when the new Evo, Assetto Corsa Vivo comes out in full swing and stuff like that. I'll probably get into that game a lot, but you can't beat it, man. It's like I said.
You were saying that, like in the VR, like
you look down at yourself.
It looks like you're actually in.
You're in a car. I had to put 4 port harnesses on the rig, so I get in there and I actually strap in, and I'm not going anywhere. But that's because when VR, you look down and you've got 4 port harnesses on,
so you want to feel it.
You can look in the back seat of the car, everything in VR. You look right out the window. So triples work okay because you can see depth for a little bit from a position on the side to forward, but you can't look behind you. You can't see anything like that. You can look into rear view mirrors on the screens, but it doesn't give you the depth like being inside the car. So, but it's close, but it's just so amazing. And you can go forever and you can do whatever you want. It's just, you get a lot of endorphins out real fast without having to go get in trouble in a car in a real street. I just want them to get I can't wait till the day that they get more like real street view. Like imagine if you could drive down Google Maps.
Then
Dude, that'd be cool as shit.
It'd be
and
cool.
then a couple years they'll have the AI girlfriend sitting next to you.
Well, there you go. Well, that's gonna be a whole nother story.
There you go.
What about
as you're driving?
I got her.
What about a game where you hook up a 360 camera to the hood of your regular car, drive around the streets of your town, and then it loads it onto the freaking game?
They got something better a little bit already. You can get on YouTube right now. There is a guy that built a radio controlled car with a cellular phone inside of it, and he drives it around his town and his neighborhood through his simulator at home.
That's fucking awesome.
He's got a camera on the front of it, everything. You can just drive it just like that, just driving around. But then again, it also tells you, though, there's been movies like that might be how we go do things. So I think of the movie called Surrogates, I think it was, with Bruce Willis, where everybody stays at home and their surrogate goes out.
Well, that's like that movie, Ready Player One.
Oh, yeah, Ready Player One.
I read that book, and the book's even better. But yeah, that's a trip. Dude.
Yeah, that was a good movie too. But yeah, a lot of that's going to be like that. What's weird though is VR really has died a lot though. It got big and then died down again. A lot of it because it makes a lot of people sick. Yeah. I'm lucky. I don't get motion sickness very easy at all. First time for 5 minutes, and then that was about it. Never happened. I can go hours. My coworker Jesse, he gets in there. He has a bucket beside him every time.
Oh shit!
It makes him sick as hell. But then again, fishing boats do it too. Doesn't stop him. No, he just sits on the fishing boat, keeps fishing, throwing up. But because he likes
Jesse
fishing.
sounds like he might be a pussy.
He's not a pussy.
I only do that when I eat.
He sounds a lot like a pussy.
No, he actually gets on the fishing boat, throws up the whole time, and then keeps fishing.
I like it.
So he's got the balls. He's got the willpower. So I'll make fun of him all damn day, and I'll do the things. But he's definitely not a pussy. The boy will throw down, and that's why he's a good dude. He's loyal like that.
Yeah, I love him. He's awesome.
But no, he can be a little whiny bitch every now and then, but not a pussy. Yeah, I said that. but then he'll say the same thing about
you're the one to the John Wayne status.
So I haven't messed around with VR very much. Just barely.
I got like $5,000 or $6,000 in that sim. Yeah. Maybe, honey, maybe not.
I did. I wasn't
Dave
and Buster's though one time, and I don't know if it's not
it
really VR.
Reminds me of a fucking video game like at the bowling alley, splits that you would sit in.
It's like Cruising USA, but better.
Yeah.
It's way better though because the graphics are better, and you have I have like bass shakers on it, so you can I can set them up to I have shakers on the pedals,
so it feels like
ABS kicks in, the brake pedal shakes a little bit, the acid wheels start to slide a little bit, your accelerator pedal will vibrate a little bit, and with the music's playing, the bass shakers will go, or if you crash, it'll shake, the bass shakers will rumble like that, so you get a feeling.
When I was in Reno the last time, they had the bikes, you're in
street bikes?
Yeah. They had the old ass end would start coming out on you, or the front end would start washing on you.
They make motion machines for Sims too, but they're we're talking $11,000 minimum for the cheapest, up to $25,000, $30,000. Things will sit up here like this, jerk you around, back and forth, everything. I was so pissed that when I went to Vegas last, I was wanting to find one. I wanted to try one out. They were closed.
Oh, that's dumb.
And stuff, because I wanted to know what a motion machine feel like. I'm like, I'm not getting one. It'd be too loud in the house already.
Sure.
My wife already bitches enough about the bass shakers and the rumble she could hear through the house and stuff like that. And the whole reason is like, I remember when I got it too, I got the 80/20 aluminum one rig, because the other one's a fold out, and I start building it in the living room. She's like, this is after my daughter Hope moves out.
She's like, what the hell?
I got tired of Hope moving back in and fighting with us a little bit. So she's like, what are you doing with that? I'm putting it in the room.
That's what that
And she's
room is
all,
designated for.
What about the bed we're going to put back in there if Hope needs to come back? I'm like, there's a
No.
couch.
You're like, no.
She's like, were you going to ask permission?
We don't want her to be freaking comfortable if she comes
I
back.
was like, no, I wasn't going to ask permission. Forgiveness is way easier to ask for. That was my way of not having to deal with it and stuff. No, I told them, she's got the couch. She want to come back. We need her to go back out because I'm not dealing with your bullshit
Imagine
trauma.
if a hunting simulation game like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a
Well,
good
he
idea.
was telling
Would
me
be
because I was
cool as
talking.
fuck.
I was talking to you about.
They do have some shooting games that are pretty neat like that. You can actually have to cock the gun and everything
What's
like that in the game and everything.
Red Redemption or whatever. When
But they don't have one. They don't have one that's just for hunting though. They need to
Right.
do one. That would be great.
But if
though.
they had the where like on that Red Redemption or whatever, the animals will come and interact with you, kill you or whatever. You can
yeah,
shoot
that
them
would
right.
be cool.
Well, like we were talking,
And then
I
have
was-
electric fucking shock and shit, so you could feel the fucking
they make-
claws and
No, VR rooms are a real thing. Some people are building them now, doing it like multi-million-dollar homes where the room actually has light differences, scents that you're sprayed out. The temperature can
smells.
change
Oh,
fast.
shit.
And all this
Crazy,
stuff.
dude.
Oh yeah. Well, they make machines now where that lifts you up a little bit in the
Yeah.
air and then has a roller thing underneath you so you could run
so you're not running into the
You're
wall and shit
suspended,
like
but
the
you're running-
fucking
yeah.
YouTube videos.
and stuff. But VR's
But there
died down a little bit. It's
There
all
have to
about
be a
AR
pain
now.
receptor there for like if the
Well-
cougar comes and slaps you and you feel it.
Well, remember they used to have a Star Trek. They had the holodeck. And they actually had it to where you could feel pain too, but you couldn't get hurt though.
Right.
Unless they shut off the things that the fail safes or whatever, then you could get hurt by a hologram or whatever. But yeah, it would be neat. But AR is more the bigger thing. That's AR is like alternative reality, which is you can see what's in like the Google glasses or the new Ray-Ban that Meta has now, where you're seeing everything, but you have everything in front of you too. They have the glasses for gaming too on planes, where you can just put the sunglasses on and you can see a screen and play games, but you can
No
see
shit.
through them.
Wow.
At the same time, that's considered AR, alternate reality. Those are big, but until they get the field of view better in VR too, I think they got to do that a little bit better and get and graphics are hard with VR because it's so much to compute everything
Yeah.
instead of just a flat
Because
screen
your
in front of
brain
you.
works so much faster than.
Well, yes. So when they get the graphics better, people get less sick too because it'll like that. But it with the future, alternative realities and VR, virtual realities.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way about it. We all never thought AI was going to happen. Look.
Here it is.
Skynet's on its way right now. Well, look when they tried to shut down what was it, Chat GTP or something, another one,
Yep.
and it tried to copy itself
Yeah.
Yep.
because they programmed in it
to override the fucking
yeah,
shutdown.
it tried to copy itself so it couldn't be shut down completely, so it would remember everything.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You got to put strong parameters, like Elon said and stuff. You got to put strong rules on these things, or they'll try to do whatever, and they have all this access to
the
everything.
goddamn AI hookers is going to be stealing your bank account and
Oh,
shit.
dude, as soon as it's going to be next thing is women are going to be pissed off because there's going to be sex bots
Freaking
everywhere.
AI fleshlight.
Yeah.
We're men. We all know what happens when female robots come out there and little sex bots. It's going to be such a freaking problem.
There's already a couple movies about it.
I'm not going to
Exactly.
leave the damn house. With that one on Netflix with Megan Fox. That
Yeah.
just
Yep.
came out. I just watched that one like a month ago. It was interesting.
God.
It's just like, jeez.
But no, we were talking, and I was telling you how my wife was interested in it, and then you were telling me that they've got different VR games for anything you're interested in.
Yeah.
And I was telling you how she likes to freaking kayak, and you were talking about
kayak.
The river.
thing.
It's
Yeah.
fun. So I got the kayak. So like I said, I have the PSVR 2, which is limited on games with PlayStation. Meta would be a lot more if someone that just wanted to play different games in VR only. Meta would be the way to go. I'd get a Meta Quest 3. Now that they ported the PSVR 2 helmet to PC, I bought the adapter, so I don't need it because I just use mine for racing. Believe it or not, I have 2 PlayStation 5s and 2 VR helmets because I don't want the kids touching my helmet in VR
This
in the
one's
sim
mine.
room.
This one's yours.
So because I don't want them to touch it because I love GT7 in VR. But no, it's coming a ways. But yeah, there's the kayak VR was amazing. So what I would do is I'd get in and I'd sit down in a chair and I'd put my feet up like an ottoman like this, so I'm in a kayak. And then you have the things between. Sometimes I'd even grab a pole in between the two hand things like this, so it felt like a paddle. Because I like to kayak for reals. I kayak every summer down the Umpqua. I have quite a few kayaks. But yeah, it's pretty neat because they did a really good job because like when you let go of the paddle in the kayak perfectly slowly turns into water just like it really would because they don't aim straight.
Well,
Kayaks don't. You have to
left
keep
or
making them
right,
straight unless you have a big skeg in the back of it, you know, like a rudder.
That's awesome.
But no, it's cool in the game. You look down in the water and you can see your shadow and everything like that and everything. And you can go kayak all these places, add the weather different, and you can just paddling along like a real kayak. And it felt, after a little while, you felt your arms started getting sore, like you're really paddling like a paddle, even though you had no water. If you had water resistance, the reality would have been pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I highly recommend, if you don't have one, get her a Medic Quest 3 or something like that. There's fun little, they're you don't even have to have a PC with them. If you hook them to a PC, they work a lot better and have better graphics, but they have their standalone too. So you can play games with it without being plugged in or nothing.
That's pretty neat. I might eventually have to do something like that.
They're worth it as a novelty, at least have in the house for fun. Yeah. I haven't played Pistol Whip. I think I did it like 3 months ago as a joke when my nephew was there, and I paid for it too. The next day my legs were so sore because I hadn't been in it for a while. But
you go
through phases. You'll get tired of something for a little while. Everything's like that, habits, and then you get back into it again.
Yeah. I was telling you earlier, I was at Dave and Buster's. God, it's been a couple years ago now. And it's not VR, but they had this freaking Star Wars TIE Fighter game.
Mm-hmm.
And you get in, it looks like a freaking ball.
Oh yeah. I know
and you
exactly
get inside and it's like, it's like you're in a little tiny freaking, what is that? VMAX or whatever they call them.
Little pod.
An IMAX theater.
Yeah.
Because it's all screens. Like you get in there, it's all screens. And holy.
It twists you around and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was having so much fun. And I was perfectly fine playing that game. But when I was done and I got out, I was
fucked up.
I felt like I had been on a boat for years.
Boat leg,
and I was like kind of nauseous.
Does it, and you get out of VR if you stand it too long. Too.
And
trying to find your sea legs.
Crap, dude.
Does it in VR too. If you sit a long time and play Pistol Whip VR, you get out of it. And what I remember when I was playing a game once, I was playing a game that you had to move around in the games because Pistol Whip it's like a drag you game. You stand in one place and it scrolls towards you, and all the enemies do. This one you had to move, so you had to use the joysticks. But when you joystick in the game, you kind of move kind of blocky.
Yeah.
So when I get out of the helmet and I walking away, here I am kind of turning myself around.
You're walking
and then turning myself straight and then walking like this and then kind of stopping and then turning to the left and then walking like I wasn't. I'm like, what the hell is going on? It was crazy. It was definitely, you get used to stuff like that. Your brain will adapt to anything, so it always try to figure it out. But that was nuts. Yeah, it was definitely, I was like, one of my wife said, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I don't know.
She's like, I can't go in public with you like
I'm
this.
just trying to maintain.
She got in the sim once. She actually liked it too. She raced in the game. She's like, I didn't hit any walls. I'm like, you did 20 miles per hour. I'm like, but I didn't hit any walls.
My goal was not to hit the wall.
I'm doing 120 miles per hour and not hitting the walls. I'm like, just let me have this. You did a great job, honey.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
a win's a win. Fuck it.
Oh,
she complained about it at first a little bit, but she kind of let it go because now she knows it gets me out of trouble, and I don't want to do anything dumb. I'm just sitting there having fun and getting out of my system, or maybe I might not drive as fast on a regular road.
Sure.
I've only met your wife a couple times, so I mean I don't know her very well, but
yeah, she see that.
It sounds like you guys. You're like me and my wife, where you don't have like a ton of stuff in common.
We don't,
but you're just together. Yeah.
We're like two circles, and we push them together, and there's a little genre in the middle that we agree on.
Yeah,
and it's that middle area, and we're not like music. Like she's more of the folky music, chick music stuff too, but not like poppy stuff, folky and stuff, or punk kind of stuff, but old school kind of punk. And I'm more of the metal, heavier stuff. But there's crossovers where there's some things that we like a lot here. Like we went to Smashing Pumpkins concert and stuff. We're supposed to go see Danzig on Wednesday, but I don't get to go now. My daughter gets to go because she's getting to go to freaking California on my dime to do her soccer stuff. So she gets to see Danzig with mom so she can drop her off the airport. So yeah, mom got it real smart here. Oh yeah, I'll just take her to the Danzig concert to you and stay the night and then drop her off in the morning at the airport on Thursday. And you can go up Sunday night at midnight and pick her up in Portland. Well, that didn't work out very well for me.
Mike, you broke the chair, dude.
Fucking broke.
I just thought he wanted to kiss the mic.
I almost did.
Yeah, I'm stuck driving to Portland next Sunday, all the way to, not this one, but next Sunday in the middle of the night.
Just
and
pop that fucker back in there, dude. It's probably got the thing's probably busted that holds it.
It's a wheel on the chair, just for the record.
Yeah.
But no, we don't have. No, we watch. There's a TV in the bedroom, a TV for the living room for a reason, because we don't even like the same. She's into chick drama crap and things like that, and I'm into like watching some cool car movie or
you don't even like
that.
watching TV much.
I do watch TV actually. I like TV. I was a TV kid, so at night I watch TV. I'd chill out and then I watch TV, or I'll play with something at the table. I like background noise. So there's two different types of TV for me. There's TV I want to watch, like the show I want to watch. Like I just finished like the Vikings all over again.
Yeah,
love the Vikings. Huge.
Mike's a big Viking fan.
Oh, huge Ivar the Boneless fan. I have Ivar Boneless shirts, everything, and then I watched the American Primeval before that. Was great.
That was awesome. Man.
That was a sick show. But so those are I want to watch, and then there's like what I use Hulu Live for, background noise. I'm so used to noise my whole life. Always had screens, sounds, stuff like that. And when it goes, my hearing is bad about when there's background noise, but when it's silent, I hear everything, so it bothers me. I have to wear earplugs at night, also because my wife snores like a Kodiak bear. I don't. Yeah, I told that one to the world.
What?
My wife only snores when she's drinking.
My wife snores always and within 5 minutes of passing out, and she's got that nasally snore where she snores on the inhale and the exhale. You got to hear my kid screaming at her when she's 5 years old when she's wanting to watch cartoons on the weekend and mom's passed out on the couch. So, I can't hear yo gabba gabba.
Oh,
it's mad and stuff, but no. But no, so I like background noise. I always got to have some noise going. Something's got to be on. So I don't care what's on though. So there's always a screen on around me. But yeah, I like seeing. But I'm usually watching a history show. Like she got so sick of seeing Naked and Afraid on all the time because I just love the show. I learned more about nature in that than anything else I've watched. But I love stuff like that. And she's more into the drama shows and things like that, and chick stuff like the Love on the Beach, whatever. It's like,
dude, I watch way too much TV, dude. Which is crazy because I only watch TV for a couple hours in the evening when I go to before I go to sleep.
That's it too. That's me. I'll get home
watching TV.
It just depends on what you call watching, though. Yeah. If I'm actually watching it, or if I'm reading on my phone while it's on in the background.
Half the time I play it on my phone while the TV's on. Yeah.
So even like I've been playing a video game on my phone lately for one, and on it, and trying to finish it and stuff. But I still have to have the TV on in the background because I don't want to hear just that the whole time, and it's weird. Or unless I put in earphones, then I'm fine because I'm in a whole other world. Like in the Sim too, I use earpods in it too. So I'm like inside the car. I'm just totally somewhere else. I like to be somewhere else. And even when I read, if I'm actually going to read a book or something like that, I had to put earplugs in. It helps me a lot. So it just blocks everything out where I can't think. Because my brain will just wander. Every little creak, every little crack, I hear it all and I'll start thinking about it. Next thing I know, I read 2 paragraphs and I don't even know what it said.
Yeah.
I have to read it again.
I have to take medication I'm so bad ADD. So
there's a lot of people like that though.
It's just horrible. If I wish I would have took it, I probably should have took it in high school. I probably would have got better grades, but I didn't. I don't. The Medicaid. I just don't. I don't think it's the best for kids' development because it is technically a partial amphetamine and stuff like that. And I don't think it's a great idea to give it to kids always until they're like at least teenagers.
Yeah,
because they don't want to stunt growth.
Yeah, for sure.
But. I mean, look at kids now. They're stunting their own growth. They're cutting their own wieners off. But
dude, there's so much weird shit now.
I mean, everything. You never know. I mean, you always think, I remember I was always thinking my dad, was like, I was the Nirvana, the grunge generation and stuff. Like, what are these kids in their stupid flannel ripped up and all this stuff like that? And my parents are like, and it was something that my parents did that their parents thought was weird. But I don't think that we were quite ready for this generation. I think they're a little weirder than we were.
Oh, no, but I do know that I totally am like one of those old dudes now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, 100%. Turn that music down. That fucking car is so loud, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not. You're never going to hear me say that car's too damn loud. But
you wait. If our kid's freaking friend that lives in these apartments above us freaking was to leave right now.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
He's got a little...
If it's a little kid driving, it's annoying
Chevy
me. Yeah,
S10 pickup with no exhaust.
The Ford fucking Ranger.
That's the thing. They all want to cut the fucking mufflers off now.
Yeah.
I'm all, why? Just put a good turbo muffler on it or something. It sounds like ass.
Yeah.
Dominic
and they freaking floor it everywhere they go, so it's as loud as possible.
Hitting the goddamn rev limiter.
So like with the new
muffler.
Yeah, like the new car. I'm not even putting a cat pack exhaust on it. It actually flows very well. Has the opening valves in it and stuff like that. I'm just changing the downpipes out, which. may or may not remove catalytic converters, but
we're in Douglas County.
yeah, but they don't know. It looked like catalytic converters, resonators, but that's it, and that's only for the power reason. But no, I don't want it loud. The Camaro's louder than shit, so I got plenty loud there, and the truck's loud too, so I don't need it louder.
Like Carlos is saying, you'll be the old guy.
Yeah,
I can't stand hearing that.
Well, it's okay to be loud if it's a V8. If it's not a V8, it's not supposed to be loud. That's my thing, I think. It's like V8s are supposed to be loud. If it's not making more than 150 horsepower, it shouldn't sound like a fart box like that. You know, it's like, it's just...
It's doing something.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It's just stupid.
But yeah, no, I'm very much like, I totally accept that I'm an old man now, and now some of that
100%.
stuff drives me nuts, dude.
Oh, 100%. I like I said, I told you earlier that I'm never going to grow up necessarily. I think this was before we got on the podcast, but everybody's a kid. I'm a kid at heart, and that maturing just means learning to be responsible. You don't have to completely grow up, but old man tendencies are kicking in a lot. I got myself a recliner.
It gets way
I like
better.
to sit in it.
My old house in Green,
Way
freaking,
better.
I used to, like, pretty much every weekend, I would wash my driveway, like freaking rinse it off, make sure my house looked
He was
nice.
the fucking Clint Eastwood up there.
Freaking
Get up!
all the kids in the neighborhood were scared to freaking walk past my house because I'd freaking yell at them. There's these little kids that live down the street, and their mom would like let them and they were little. They were like 6, 7 years old.
Yeah,
Their mom would just let them run around and never even know where they were.
Well, that's what we were when we were little.
And,
too. That was our generation.
Well, next to my house, there was like this dirt section where there was a big electrical box.
There's the transformer was in
Yeah,
the
the
ground.
transformer was there or whatever. Well, they were obsessed with that dirt, and they would come over there and dig holes in that fucking dirt. And all the time I was yelling at them to get lost.
Get out of there.
I'm like, get out of there, go home.
Oh shit! I did yell at the kids for getting into rocks in the front lawn and the boys.
So I started just hosing them. Like if I saw them, I'd just fucking hit them with the hose.
He would. Get off my lawn.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I was fucking yelling at them. And my wife laughs at me because she's like, "You're such an old man." She had the kids playing in the front yard in the sprinkler, and they could hear my truck coming from around the block.
All the kids ran.
She was like, the minute they heard your truck, they all took off running down the road.
Carlos is home.
That big mean asshole's on his way. But wait a minute, what are you gonna do? They're already wet.
Oh, dude, I would shoot their ass for playing in my yard. They're mashing my grass down, dude.
You're killing
it
my
wasn't a yard, it had
grass.
gravel
I
in the
just
front.
mowed it.
I had gravel in the front, and I got Hope's there with two of her girls that are all around
shit.
13 years old, and there's it's all hormone stages and stuff, and there's 3 girls there, and now that all of a sudden there's 3 boys up front, and then they start tossing the rocks at each other that are basically my front lawn, which is rock. They live on the hill.
You should have hosed them down.
Right after I had somebody just come and grade it all out perfect, and they made a mess all over the street, and I told every one of those boys, you're going to pick all of it back up. And one of the little shits left.
He said, fuck you, I'm leaving.
And I said, you little shit need to get your fucking ass back up here and do this, like that, like whatever. I'm like, you sissy.
Dad, be nice.
Like that. He comes back up with his mommy. Yeah. And her mommy's boyfriend starts chewing my ass for being mean to him. He made a mess here at my house.
I would have hosed his ass too.
I said, it looks like, you know what I told him? I said,
you fuck with me, you get the hose.
I said, you need to teach him to be a man and take care of his freaking problems. But the problem is the apple doesn't fall from the tree, and all of a sudden her boyfriend just starts laughing, and she turns around and gives him the biggest dirty look and said, get the hell out of here. We're going home now. And she's pissed because he's just laughing. He turns around to me and waves. Yep. He knew it. It's like, this is why your kid is like that, because you're babying him, and he needs to be a man and pick up his mess. Should have said I was going to kick his ass. I didn't tell any little boys that I was going to kick his ass. I told him to call him a sissy, and he wasn't a man. No. He needed to take care of his shit.
But it said the Red Foreman. I would put my foot up your ass.
Oh, love Red Foreman. I don't know how many times dumbass has become a staple in my house. What are you doing, dumbass? Yeah, dumbass. Best episode is when Eric throws up on his shoes, and he comes down with the Christmas present because he's grounded, and he opens the Christmas present. These are my shoes. Clean them. That's great.
You've earned the right to clean my shoes.
Dude, that was one of the best characters in the show. Red Foreman.
But yeah, I totally accept the fact that I'm an old man now.
Yep.
Yeah, it gets there.
It's very rewarding. I understand it. Like, it feels so good to hose down random shit.
never did. That's a great idea. I was like thinking maybe get a pressure washer.
You should totally do
In
it,
the
dude.
summertime, Carl's has a water tank in the back of his truck.
Yeah.
Just to fuck with kids.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh god, dude, it was the greatest.
Get out of here, you little rodents. You're all going to take a bath.
I can hear you.
You really hit them with a hose.
Oh fuck yeah, dude. And you know what's funny? Like freaking 20 minutes after I did that, their mom came down. I'm like, oh, now I got to hear it from their mom. No, she was looking for her kids. She couldn't find them.
Oh gosh.
I hope
They're the wet ones down there.
She's like, I hope they're not bugging you. Not anymore
like, I
because
don't know
they're
where
wet
they
as
are.
fuck running down the road.
They've had a bath for the day. They don't need a shower later.
Yeah, dude, that was funny
Terrible
shit.
shit.
That is great, dude. I can't believe. Yeah, you've definitely gone full, man.
Though. Yeah, no, that was the best. Yeah, I warned them. I warned them.
That's hilarious, though. That is the best by far. I have not shot any kids with hosed water yet. I guess now you're thinking about me, making me thinking I need a bigger hose and a sprayer out in the front lawn now.
Damn
But
right.
I remember.
His neighbor did the fucking, because of the people stealing shit in Green, did the motion sensor with the sprinkler.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
There's a video on.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
I just have cameras. Cameras everywhere. Not that thieves or anything care about those anymore.
I remember one time in high school, we went out to my buddy's house to play paintball, and his parents weren't supposed to be there, but his dad happened to be there. And so I thought my buddy was being nice. Like, he's talking to his dad all nice, and he's like, "Do you want to play, Dad?" You know, trying to include him. And he's like, "Sure, I'll play," you know. And dude, we're all like geared up. We grab all these paintball guns, and we're standing in the driveway getting ready to take off onto their property and go play paintball.
Yeah.
And his dad comes out with his fucking paintball gun and just lit us all up from about 10 feet away.
He's like,
dude.
I won.
That shit hurt so bad. I had tears in my eyes, dude. He fucking just lit us all up. And then freaking threw the gun on the ground and goes, "You guys better clean up your whole fucking mess," and walked back in the house. And we still played paintball.
It's like Billy Madison. You're all gonna do it.
Yeah.
You're all going down. Dodgeball.
And it was like, dude, none of us were expecting. We were all standing there ready to go. Like we're
what
cool.
the fuck?
And he just annihilated all of us from 10 feet away.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to take my airsoft guns camping anymore. I shot John Paul in the back of the leg once. Well, I had it out. I had those not the gas powered ones.
It makes people mad.
And I had it like this. It's pointed down, and he comes back and he tried to grab it out of my hand behind him, and he pulls the trigger.
Pop, pop.
Shot him right in the back of the leg, and it stuck.
Yeah.
He pulls it out, and there's a blood starts running down the bottom of his leg. He's like, you did that. Like, you shot me. I'm like, you shot yourself, you asshole. He's like, I'm going to get it back later. And then it turned into, you got to hold of my other one. And it turned into a fight, trying to shoot each other from across the cars. You got to be careful because they'll dent the damn cars. Those things are strong, those little plastic pellets.
Yeah.
With the gas-powered ones, those are mean. But no, I'm banned from those now. The wife won't let me take them.
Oh,
Too much
shit,
trouble.
dude.
But-
Well, we already went longer than you said you had time to go. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
it's
should
fun.
probably wrap this up.
It's fun.
But it was
Had a
fun, dude. I didn't even
talk.
get halfway through this little tiny list that I had.
We
about
can do
you.
a part 2 someday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I had fun in here with you guys. This is great. I figured it was going to be harder to like 2 hours. I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
Like,
this is like bullshitting at
You
the
like
bar.
to talk
It is.
anyways.
I'm a talker. I always have been. I got it from my mom. Like I said, I
Straight
didn't get
up
the volume
bullshit.
though.
Says,
And I'm going to have to come over and try this fucking VR driving.
You're more than welcome to.
I like the idea of being able to drink and drive without getting in trouble.
when they
That's
do
cool.
the
Seats
the,
adjustable, wheels adjustable. It's all in there. You can get figured how you want to. You get in there, you have a blast, man. I
they do
mean,
the AI girls.
It'll be
man. Call me
weird
up.
doing it and
I'll
it,
show
and it
up.
being on pavement.
I'll
It'll be
have a
weird.
Clorox.
It'll be weird doing it on
It's got to
paved
be.
roads.
Never mind.
Yeah. Oh, I got a snow track, dirt track too.
I don't know. I'm just used to mountain roads, you know.
We'll have some
Mountain
fun, buddy.
roads, gravel.
Yeah,
Got to throw some yellow gates in there everywhere.
dude, that sucks. Yellow gate.
That'd be great.
Oh,
Good times.
right on, dude. I'm. Thanks for being on the show, man.
You're welcome.
Where
Thanks
are
for
we at,
having me.
Carlos?
I wish I would have got here sooner.
Yeah, you were sick.
I was.
I was.
Everybody was sick, but
I hope you had fun.
I did.
I'm sure everybody will enjoy it.
Right on.
It was fun hanging out, Mike.
How you doing?
It's always fun hanging out with you.
Where are we?
Nice to meet you and hang out with you.
Yeah, we're I'm Quasa Rival.
There you go.
And
got to throw that in there.
Got a lot of guns from here. Come down here.
Yeah, you better come get them while you can. Oh, geez. Anyways, thanks a lot for being on, both you guys. It's fun. I had a good time. And everyone out there, have a good weekend. And until next time.